All right, we are live. What's up, everybody?
Okay. I got one too.
Welcome to another session of the Golf Club Podcast. You guys already know my name is Will. I'm the host of the show, #1 Polynesian podcast in the world. You guys already know it's Hot Topic Wednesdays. As you guys can see, we have a full panel, men and women. We have a great topic to discuss for you guys, and of course, all the Golf drinkers out there, cheers! But we have a great show for you guys. Cheers. All right, let's get it.
What are we arguing about?
A man is gonna do what a man wants to do.
Yes, all on your wrist. Make you my wife, you no longer my bitch.
Let's get it. My name is Will. I'm the host of the show, the #1 Polynesian podcast in the world.
Dripping in Versace shit. All these other hoes trying to copy.
Women tend to bounce around in relationships. They can't stick and stay in a long-term relationship.
Again, don't agree with this.
So let's say, are you still in it? Are you still in it?
No. So you're basically saying I'm a whore.
This content is not suitable for the children under the age of 18 without adult supervision. Please be advised.
So I just wanted to take the time and make this video to apologize to absolutely nobody. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. We have a great show planned for you guys. Welcome back to the Golf Club Podcast. You guys already know it's Hot Topic Wednesdays. We have a hot topic to discuss for you guys tonight. As always, for everybody that's watching live already, thank you so much for watching. And of course, to all my subscribers out there, to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for all the love and support. If you love the content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think on the live chat. Let's get that live chat popping. But as always, to my panel of guests, thank you so much for taking the time to be part of discussions. I know we have a hot topic to discuss tonight, based from a conversation that we had from our recent last podcast from last week. But let's start the show. Let's get everybody just do a quick intro of each, and then we'll get the show started and get the discussion going. So I'll start with the ladies, as always. Thank you so much for joining, being part of the pod for tonight. I'll start with you, Sarah. Sarah, if you want to go give yourself a quick intro for everybody out there.
Hi, everyone. I am glad to be back on the show. I'm Sarah Blodgett. I'm also Everyday Starlet on YouTube if you want to be out. I'm also at Sarah Blodgett on Instagram and Everyday Starlet on TikTok.
All right. Thank you so much, Sarah. I appreciate you for being here tonight. I'll pass it to you, Maria. Maria, go ahead and give yourself a quick intro. It's good to see you, Maria.
Thank you. Good to see you too. I'm Maria. I don't do this much, but I'm a trainer here, and then I started a meal prep company here in San Diego, a small one.
Okay. All right. No worries. Thank you so much, Maria. Good to see you. All right. And I'll pass it to you, Gabby. Gabby, go ahead and give yourself a quick intro.
Hello. I work in real estate, and I love champagne. Thank you for inviting me over again.
All right, no worries. Thank you so much, Gabby. Thank you so much for being part of the pod for tonight. I see Salt Valley Media. Hey, good to see you on the live chat. Salt Valley Media. Good to see you, Joe. I'll pass it to the fellas. Fellas, go ahead and give yourself a quick intro. I'll start with you, Devil. Devil, go ahead and give yourself an intro real quick.
Yeah, I go by Devil's Advocate. I also have a YouTube channel. I just like hopping on these podcasts and kind of playing devil's advocates and poking people's philosophies. So I'm sure we'll have a good time. Got some familiar faces up here, some new ones.
Okay. All right. No worries, Devil. As always, thank you for being here, being part of the pod. And I'll start with you, Black Zero.
What's going on? It's Black Zero. I don't know if you guys remember me, but I'm back with a vengeance. I'm the TikTok dude. You guys can find me at Black0_25. That's Black0_25. I'm on here because I love this guy. I love these panels. I love doing this. So let's go.
All right. Thank you so much, Black Zero. Man, it is hot today in San Francisco. All right. Thank you so much for everybody that's watching this right now. Don't forget, this is a public show. So you guys already know you guys can join in as a public guest. I'll definitely drop the link on the YouTube live chat. So if you want to jump on and be part of the show, just click on that link and you'll be able to be part of the conversation. But nevertheless, let's get right into it. Ladies and gents, you guys know the topic for tonight. Should a man be able to control his woman's life? Okay. So I'll start with the ladies. Let me know what do you guys think. Let me start with you, Maria. Maria, what do you think? Open up the conversation for us. Well, what do you think? Should a man be able to control his woman's life?
I mean, I don't think there's any need for a man to control his woman's life. That's definitely not healthy. If you guys are in a relationship, you should trust each other and be individual people that become, a union together as one. I think the control is just stemming from insecurity, and it's just not healthy.
Okay. All right. No worries. Thank you for sharing that, Maria. I'll pass it to you, Gabby. Gabby, what do you think? What's your general thoughts to open the conversation? Should a man be able to control his woman's life?
No, I don't think a man should be necessarily controlling his woman's life. I think that I do expect our men to be somewhat responsible for being head of household and making decisions that benefit the family. If you have a man that you trust, you should be able to respect and kind of feel safe, kind of letting him handle most things, but not your life. You should be able to do whatever your heart desires.
Oh, okay. All right. No worries. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Gabby. Okay. Pass it to you, Sarah. Sarah, what are your thoughts about should a man be able to control his woman's life?
Well, I don't love the word control, because I feel like that has a very abusive, manipulative kind of tone to it. I do think that both people in a relationship, both partners, should be able to have boundaries and be able to communicate those best to each other. I've talked before on the show, and I know people kind of look crazy when I talk about this, but my philosophy on relationships is really that.
Hey, Sarah, let me just. Yeah, your mic is echoing. Just let you know.
I'm echoing again?
Yeah, echoing again.
Echoing again? Oh, that's so weird.
So let me see if you can do a quick
Is
fix.
Is it better now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better now. Yep.
Better now? All right. Okay. So my philosophy is that the masculine partner, which is more often than not the man, leads with the mind, with the head, and that the feminine partner, which is more often the woman, leads with the heart. So it's really, the masculine leading with direction and the feminine leading with intuition. And I think when we have a partnership where you're working together in that way, I think that's where you make the ideal partnership. But you're still both individual humans, so that you still have agency over your bodies and your lives, while you can also have boundaries and things in a relationship. Like, if you're going to be in a relationship with someone, you're probably not going to want to be sleeping with other people or things like that. Like, there are certain boundaries, but to actually have that like control over another person, I think that is oftentimes a recipe for disaster.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Sarah. All right. So let me pass it to the fellas. I'll start with you, Devil. Devil, what do you think?
So I initially didn't like the wording. I leaned toward, I actually wrote the words down, stern leadership instead of control, because I had a little negative feeling about the way it was worded. Maria makes a good point though about overt control, no, absolute power corrupting, absolutely. But in a world with third wave feminism and social media, I think that the modern world is very good at saving men from the dark sides of themselves. So, for example, aggression. We have the most, in terms of policing, firemen. We have all these systems that weren't there or weren't as efficient for the past hundreds of thousands of years that we have now. So we have the military, we have a huge check on, war and male aggression, but we don't have a check on a lot of the things that are taking advantage of the female psyche. So, for example, I think social media negatively affects women worse than it affects men. So I would use an analogy like a drug addict. It's literally the same chemicals in your brains that like Facebook hires people to see what notifications sound leads to a stronger dopamine hit, and how they should make it pop up on your phone. Like there are people whose job is nothing more than to get you addicted to their sounds and their notifications and their likes and their shares. So when I see how social media is affecting our generation, I think it's more like saving, again, both men and women, but disproportionately women, kind of from themselves. Like there's a reason why all these executives at Instagram and Facebook don't let their kids have it until they turn 18 at least. So one, you should talk to your partner before your relationship about things like boundaries and what you're okay with them posting, what you're not okay with them posting, and integrity. And if that aligns, then I think you guys should be okay. I just don't think our generation has the social skills to have those conversations in an environment where there's feminism. Women aren't comfortable making those kind of concessions because they're already addicted to certain things that social media is giving them. So I think it's almost a lost cause, which is why our generation's so bad at long-term relationships. So rant over.
Okay. All right. No worries, Daryl. Thank you for sharing. I see D on the live chat. Hey, good to see you, D. And Balofessa. Hey, it's good to see you, Balofessa, on the live chat. Hopefully you can joining us soon. I'll pass to you, Black Zero. Black Zero, what's your what's your thoughts, man?
All right. So just like everybody said, control is a bad word. It just really, it sounds like they're your pet, and that's just not cool. You know, I don't even control my dog to the most extent that I should. You know what I mean? Like if I'm not gonna treat my dog that way, why would I treat my wife? That's just freaking ridiculous, right? So that's my first thing. Just like everybody else said, I think we're all like in an unanimous, agreement that the word control just should not be used when we're dealing with a relationship. Whether we're going for man or woman for man, women, does not matter. Control just sounds really ridiculous. Now, setting healthy boundaries is a thing and should happen on both sides before anybody decides to have a long-term relationship. This is not even marriage time. This is just if you wanted to go steady, for lack of a better word. There's that unique period when you guys are first dating where you're asking each other questions and you just really want to rip each other's clothes off. That's when you should be asking these questions. Hey, do you like to party a lot? Hey, do you drink a lot? How many kids do you want to have? These are you religious? Are you non-religious? Have you ever been arrested? Have you ever been charged with a crime? These are things that you need to really ask somebody. And not only ask them, do your due diligence. People lie. Like there's a woman out there who just murdered 4,000 babies, okay? Do you think that her husband knew? Like we really need to start educating ourselves on the people that we want to spend time with. If we don't start doing that, then yeah, as soon as you guys start getting into a relationship and things gets hot and heavy and she's like, hey, I want to go hang out with my best friend, and he's for a 12-foot tall African dude who's been my gay best friend since I was born, but he's not really gay, he's just waiting for his opportunity. You see what I'm saying? Like these are the things that you should have known before you decided to get in a relationship. So I think that when you say you're a woman, I think it should be your girlfriend. Should you have set good boundaries in your relationship with your girlfriend? The answer is yes, and vice versa. Because once you get to wife and husband status, these boundaries, if they are not already concrete or made or discussed, they're going to be trampled over because you've allowed them to be trampled over while you were dating. Just because you get a ring is not magic. Just because you have a baby, it's not magic. Just because you get a little money, it's not magic. The person is still going to be that person. And yeah, throughout time, they might change. But are you really willing to bank your 20s, bank your 30s, bank your 40s on somebody who in their 50s is going to go, you know what? I want to go bounce around on the pogo stick now. Or you know what? I want to go and freaking marry a 30-year-old chick who has 1 or 2 kids and leave you alone, or some weird stuff like that. Like these are different scenarios that happen to people who don't vet the people that they're with. And I know because I've been married and I've been twice before my current wife. I did not vet those people wisely. I lost a lot of time, and it really affected the way I treated women for a very long time before I met my wife. So if there's any way I could try and change people's minds and say, hey, if you want to have more control of your relationship, you need to start doing it from day one.
All right, facts. All right, no worries, Black Zero. Thank you for sharing it. So, let me open up the conversation. Everybody had a chance to go. Obviously, there's a lot of us that may see things differently, have a different opinion on this topic. So, does anybody want to respond to any somebody or what somebody said on this panel, based on everybody's responses?
Yeah, I want to respond to Black Zero. I just want to reiterate what you said. I think it's very important that when you do start a relationship, you do have to set those boundaries. You do have to be like, hey, this is where I draw the line. Because how can you get into, you know, a deeper relationship, a marriage with somebody, if you guys don't already have those things established? I just think that's not very healthy. I 100% agree with that. Thank you for sharing that.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
I see us agreeing a lot on the philosophy, but I think that we haven't really highlighted the real divide between the genders and kind of the issue that we're talking about. We might have to use a specific example, like, I mean, what a girl posts versus what a girl wears, you know, like maybe we have to get into like things like that, because philosophically it sounds great. Talk about it on day one, right? But I think there's a lot of things that guys can't even really bring up without getting you know, like a verbal lashing at the very least, or disqualifying himself for having standards because the girl, you know, isn't used to hearing or having those kind of conversations. And, you know, it probably goes both ways. Maybe a lot of guys aren't used to voicing these things until they've been dating for X amount of time, and that can cause problems.
Okay. Black Zero, you have something to say?
Yeah, can I respond to him? I 100% agree with you. When it's this broad, it's hard for anybody to take a certain stance and for us to be like, hey, you know, no, I don't believe in control. But, you know, there are certain situations that if they do arise, it's going to sound a little controlling. I think that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So my ex-wife, when we first started dating, she wanted to go hang out, you know, at USC with her friend by themselves. They wanted to drive over there. They knew nobody. Her friend knew somebody. She knew nobody. I literally said, that is totally fine. You can go, but I won't be here when you get back. Do not call me. Do not write. Do not say we are over. I was like, I do not want a woman like that. That's insane. That's crazy. And she said, okay. And she didn't go. We ended up being married for a while, but obviously these tendencies, I should have saw that as more of a red flag. Just the asking should have been more of a red flag. Now I understand that there are some people who will take my no and just be like, oh, okay, that's cool, you know, and grow from that. But I don't see that happening because of my experiences. Now, the woman I am married to now, she's never asked me to do that ever. Like that's never been a thought in her mind. She's never wanted to go. She's never wanted to go out in a group of men where it was just her and her friend. Anytime she's ever been caught in that, she's like, "Hey, baby, can you come pick me up? This is weird. My friends brought me to this place. I thought it was just gonna be us. Blah 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 blah. Come get me." You see what I'm saying? Like, so then that ended up turning into her not wanting to hang out with her friends anymore. So like, I definitely understand. It's like I said, it's all about choosing, because sometimes you got to live and you learn.
Okay. So I have a question for the ladies, and because I know maybe Gabby and Maria, you probably disagreed on some things based on what you guys said. I want to ask you guys probably two questions. Do you prefer the man to be the leader in as far as the role in the relationship, or do you prefer to be the leader? And number two is, what part or aspects of your life that you would prefer your man to control? Whether it's finances, like do you prefer a man to come in to be the leader and, you know, he's like, you know what, I'm going to take 100% responsibility and obligation with the finances. And obviously he's doing really well. He has good income for himself. So he's like, you know what, babe, you don't have to pay, I'll pay all the bills. I'll pay the rent. I'll pay everything. That's my responsibility. So I'll control that part of the relationship. So that's just an example. So I just want to ask that two questions to the ladies. What do you prefer in a man? Do you prefer a man as a leader? And also, what part of the relationship or what aspects of your life are you willing to have him absolutely control all of it? And of course, what aspects of your life that he cannot control? And I'm just interested to hear your answers on that one. So I'll start with you, Maria. What type of man do you prefer? Do you prefer a man to lead you in a relationship? And also, like, what parts of your life or the relationship do you prefer your man to have absolute control? And also, what parts of your life that he cannot have no say at all, and he cannot control you in at any way? So go ahead, Maria.
Again, I think the word control is probably not the best. I think a leader is definitely like an honorable position. A leader is somebody that you would naturally want to take his lead. If you feel safe as a woman, I feel like for me, if I were to feel safe, I would want to follow his lead. But control is just where it gets a little on the negative side. To control something completely in my life, I don't think that's really like necessary. Again, that's kind of broad, but I think
What about
that,
safety? What about if an intruder comes
Yeah.
out? Would you want him to be like, hey,
yeah,
so okay, see there's an aspect. There's an aspect in
that
your
comes
life
with
where you want him to
trust.
take. Of course. No, I'm not. We're talking about somebody who's fully capable of taking care of every single need you have. So this is a hypothetical guy, perfect guy. Which areas would you let him lead you, and what areas would you be like, nah, motherfucker, that's not happening?
I
Hey,
mean,
do you, like I said, what do you prefer? I'm talking about your preference. Well, for you, what do you prefer? So it could be finances, it could be safety. I'm just throwing out examples. But what do you prefer for you? There are certain areas of real life that your man has absolutely, well, maybe not. I know you don't like the word control, but responsibility and duty towards you that he's gonna fulfill that role.
for me, I am more of like, I guess, the traditional person. So I would feel safe and comfortable following his lead if it was healthy and if it was, you know, I guess the whole masculinity thing nowadays gets confused with toxic masculinity when I don't agree with the whole masculinity is toxic. I think it's definitely both energies are important, both are needed, both are different. So I would want yeah, I would follow his lead.
Just give me
And I would,
three things. Just give me three aspects or things in your life that you would prefer your man to control or not control, like take responsibility and take that duty that he's gonna take care of that for you. That you prefer. Just get a little top three. Just give me your top three.
well, I would want to make my own money, so I don't want to say finances completely, but I would want him to have like that safety cushion where he would be able to provide, if I were to have a baby, because then that would change things if I was the main breadwinner. So the finances is important.
Okay.
Security, just in being able to feel safe in his presence and his, I guess,
Okay.
I would want
Physical.
to feel safe in all areas, though, not just like if an intruder came, just with trust to
Okay.
know
So
that,
okay.
his plan is with better purpose, I guess.
Okay. So finances. So you, of course, you can still work, but the man should have the ability to pay for 100% of the bills. But you still have the option to work. So that way, if you have kids, you want to step back towards taking care of the children, you have that option, that flexibility. Okay. And you said safety, like physical safety, emotional safety,
Yeah.
mentally safe, the man that could make you feel safe mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Right. And then third one, what's the last one that comes to mind?
For like controlling, I feel like the second one is pretty like it goes hand in hand with a lot of things.
Okay. So what about three things that he has no say at all? He cannot have no say in that aspect of your life.
Again, that gets down with specifics because like I feel like in relationships a lot of people, whether it be like the male or the female, get uncomfortable with seeing their partner start to like try new activities because that could lead to meeting new people. They get insecure. So if somebody's doing something with the intention of like self-growth and like trying to, have new endeavors, that could lead a tricky situation because it leads to like meeting new people. And I feel like if it's something that I would want to do that's respectable in the relationship, I'm not going to hold back on doing something that's going to better myself just because of like his insecurity. But again, that would have to come with it being respectful, like nothing that would cause any type of issue in the relationship or harm to him.
Okay. Do you have any example of like an activity that for your self growth that you would do that he's like, no, I'm not gonna stop doing that activity for no man, even if he's the leader?
I would say like for a good example for that would be like to dance, for example, not strip obviously, but just like dancing.
Of
No,
course, of course.
dancing.
None of us were
Dancing,
thinking
it's
that,
a
by the way.
form of it's a form of creative expression, and it's just as a woman you like to feel embodied, and it's just more of like a self-empowerment thing for yourself. And I feel like some men could take that in like, I don't know, disrespect because it's sensual energy and stuff like that, but I don't think that should be a solid no.
Okay,
If
that's
you're doing
reasonable.
it for yourself, you're not performing for anybody. That's just an example.
Okay, I mean that's reasonable. Okay, just dancing. Okay, all right, no worries. That. Thank you for Okay, thank you for sharing that, Maria. Let me pass it to you, Gabby. And I'll come to you, Sarah. And of course, everybody on the live chat, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget, I posted the public link on the YouTube live chat. So we have some room on the panel. If you guys want to jump on, click on that link and jump on and be part of the conversation. Appreciate you guys watching. But let's get that the live chat going. I want to hear what you guys think, especially the women and the ladies on the live chat. But I'll pass it to you, Gabby. Gabby, so same question I asked Maria. Do you prefer a man to be the masculine leader in your life? And of course, top 3 things that you prefer your man to have absolutely responsibility and be his duty to take over and over that part of your life. Go ahead, Gabby.
I would say, like, I'm just gonna cancel that all out, because if you mutually respect everybody, if you mutually respect each other, there should be nothing that you have to control. If I'm with you, if I've made the commitment to marry you, I know that you're not going to be the type of guy who's going to try to control me, because I'm a wild one. Like, I like to go out, I like to dance, I like to party, I like to hang out with my friends. I don't like being controlled. And if you're going to try to control me, it's not going to get anywhere with me. I've been a free spirit my whole life. You're not getting anywhere with me. I do think that men should have control of, number one, the household, the children. He should be making all of the rules for the children. He should be making all of the rules for the household. And the man that I do end up with, I will trust enough to do so, because that's the man I've decided to spend the rest of my life with. And obviously that comes with like vetting him out, making sure you're sitting next to. But in terms of you can do this, you can't do that. That's not healthy. If I'm gonna do something that's upsetting to you, then obviously I don't respect you and we shouldn't be together. And if that is upsetting to you, cut it off with me. But I'm totally okay with that. And we should also be okay with leaving people who don't fit our needs. I cannot be controlled. It's just not something that's possible for me.
Okay. All right. So you're a wild spirit. Okay. All right. No worries, Gabby. But top 3 things. Also, you named one. He has to set the rules and boundaries in the household. So that was one. 2 more things that you would prefer your man to have.
I think
responsibility and duty.
To pay for everything, but it's not required. But if something happens to me, I want to be able to trust that he's going to take care of it. So financials are pretty important. The kids, of course, like I said, and I think number 1, trust is super important to me. I know you can't. It's not like something that he can control, but that's something that I'm gonna make sure is something established with my future partner, my husband, my life partner. I need to trust you, and that's a big part of the man setting the rules of the house. If I trust you enough to marry you, I trust you enough to make decisions for our household. If you're wrong, though, if I think that you're wrong, we're gonna have a conversation about it. We need to be able to communicate effectively, and controlling is not something that we should be doing to our partners. I think it's a negative thing for me.
Okay, so you said that you prefer the man to be able to pay all the bills just in case something happens to you, that you could just step in and take care of the responsibilities, the children, and the family. Okay, all right, okay. And then and you said the man that can set boundaries in the household, and anything on trust. He said trust. Well, you just want a man to be able to trust.
Trust you enough to make the right decision. That man who I will trust is not going to be taking his emotions into account. He's going to be thinking logically. He's going to be thinking long term. He's not going to be only thinking about himself. He's going to be thinking about us as a family.
Oh, okay. So the man that can make good decisions in times of turmoil and challenges and during your life.
Who's calm, a man who's always constantly thinking on the backboard. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't want an indecisive man that when things get hard that he fails.
Who's going to be thinking irrationally.
He's
going to be making decisions based off of his ego versus logic.
Yeah. Just when your man that can step up when you need him the most, when the family needs him the most. Okay, I got you. All right. And then Gabby, are there aspects of your life that that man that you just described has no say in that part of your life?
You have no say in what I wear. You have no say in the people that I hang out with. You should trust me enough to not do anything to disrespect you. And if I do disrespect you, then leave. We can have a conversation about it, but if we can't come to terms long term, I don't think it's going to work out. If you can't understand who I am, like I've been a promoter at a club. I've been a bottle service girl. I've done, all of these things that require you to meet a lot of people. And if you're not comfortable with that, that's fine, but you're not confident enough to be with me, to trust me enough to be like, hey, my girl will never do something like that to me. She's working, she's making her money,
Okay, so so he has no say. So even if the man fulfills all the three things he just listed, he's a leader, but he has no say what you wear, and he has no say of where you go and the friends that you hang out with. Okay, all right, no worries. All right, thank you for sharing that, Gabby. I'll pass it to you, Sarah. Sarah, same question. Would you prefer your man to be that masculine, traditional masculine leader in the relationship, and also three aspects of your life that you would prefer your man to have responsibility, 100% responsibility and obligation and duty to take that take that part of your life, and then three things that he has no say over your life. Go ahead, Sarah.
Well, one of the things that, I think we've all kind of referenced, but I feel like it's just been kind of an aside thing, but I think it's really a key aspect to this is the concept of trust. For the vast majority of women, and I'm sure there are exceptions, but the vast majority of women, again, I don't like the word control, but like you would be amazed at how much leadership or how much a woman is going to be willing to hand over to a man as far as him having, whether you call it leadership, control, whatever, if he can establish trust. Like that's the key. But that has to be earned. Like that trust has to be earned. And honestly, it can disappear really quickly. Like it's a constant thing. Like a man has to constantly prove himself as being trustworthy, or else a woman is going to shut right down and she's not going to let him take the lead. And I know that that's frustrating for a lot of guys, because I know there's a lot of guys who are like, well, she could trust me this time, so why shouldn't she trust me this time? It's like, well, if she starts to feel, that's why I always say in the beginning, I'm like, the man leads with the head, but the woman leads with the heart. If she's feeling like I can't trust you in this moment, then she's not going to be able to relax and let him take the lead. She's going to shut down because she's going to feel like he's not trustworthy, which is one of the reasons why I say I think it's a partnership. People have to check in with each other. So there's so many things that I feel like there's a lot of men who think like, well, I should be able to take the lead. I'm masculine. I'm a man. I'm going to take the lead. But if he has not established that trust, it's not going to work. Like, and even if she does let him take the lead and he then consistently proves that he's not trustworthy, that's going to deteriorate any relationship. So, I think there's that aspect. But I also think too, when we're talking about the topics, like the areas of control, so to speak, the lack of a better word, some of this stuff is about a man's self-control. So we're talking about a man like being a provider. I think a man being a provider is very important personally. I'm very traditional in that way. But a lot of that has to do with, does he have the self-control and discipline to actually have a job, keep a job, do the work, make the money? But that doesn't necessarily mean that he has complete and total financial control over the entire family. I mean, for one, you'd want to make sure that if he is making a financial decision, it's in the best interest of the family as a unit, even if it's just the two people. I mean, or if there's kids involved or whatever, it would have to be a decision that's not for his own selfish ego needs, but it's a decision that actually supports the entire family. And it's also, I mean, in a more traditional household, the woman, if the woman is running the household, she would be making most of the financial decisions. So while he would be earning the money and having that area of the house of earning the money, bringing home the checks, it's really the woman in the family that typically is the one who makes the decisions about what brand of food she puts on the table and how it gets cooked and things like that. So it's not necessarily about a man like, well, I make the money, so I have financial control. It's like, well, if you make the money to provide for the family, it doesn't mean that he gets complete control over every financial purchase that happens. Now, at the end of the day, if he happens to be much better at finances and budgeting and things like that than the woman, then maybe he should be the one that takes charge of that. And if he has established trust and she believes that he's better at that than she is, well, then he can take over that role. If he's not better than her at that and she still lets him take charge of that, I mean, she's kind of being a little bit of an idiot, right? Like, I mean, you don't want to give someone control over something or power over something in an area that they're not very good at. So, I mean, I think it really depends on that. Now, for me personally, yes, I would want a man to be a provider, but I certainly wouldn't want a man to have complete and total financial control over me. I've already been through a divorce and it was a very messy financial situation. So I know what it's like to be screwed over financially in a relationship. So I certainly would never blindly trust anybody when it comes to finances. But I would want a man who was the primary provider of the family. I'd want a man to be a protector. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't just mean, okay, if there's an intruder in the house, which I would hope that he would be able to protect me from an intruder better than I could myself. I would hope that would be the situation. But again, it's not just necessarily a protector. How often do you get, I suppose it depends on where you live, but like, how often do you get people that are just breaking into your house? But you want a man who's also going to protect you from, you know, is he protecting you from knowing that he's not out there liking every girl's photo on Instagram and making you look like a fool because he's trying to hook up with other women? Like, is he protecting you from, you know, having your heart broken? Is he actually protecting you from other things? Like, there's other aspects of protection. Is he providing for you? Is he providing love, attention? Is he providing for you in ways that are not just financial? I mean, these things are, it's really easy to get into, like, okay, can he beat up an intruder? Or like, okay, can he pay the gas bill? But like, protecting and providing goes a lot deeper than that. So I think those things are also things that get really overlooked in our society too. And I mean, I know those aren't technically like 3 things, but I feel like they're kind of like 300 things that I just mentioned. But like, there's that. I mean, when it comes to things that I don't think a man should have control over, well, I think that most things in a relationship, if you're going to be in a partnership, should be up for discussion. I don't believe that in any situation, this goes for male or female, but I think it comes up a little bit more with women. I don't think a man should have any kind of ownership over her body in the sense that she should ever be expected to be intimate in a situation where she isn't comfortable. I don't think that he should ever, you know, have a right to say, well, you're my woman, you should have access to you at any time. I don't think that he should be able to, I think she should be able to have agency over her body. If you do have intimacy problems, I think those can be discussed, but I don't think that they should ever be automatic or any kind of like, I think like health concerns or anything that takes away from her own humanity as far as like basic human rights. She should be able to make her own medical decisions, like things like that.
Okay. All right. No worries. All right. So thank you for sharing that, Sarah. So just a man that can provide or protect, right? That can be a provider, you know, traditional provider. And then a man that can make you emotionally feel safe, you know, just make sure that he's doing what he needs to do to make sure that you don't feel insecure emotionally in the relationship, that he's constantly earning your trust. And of course, a man that, you know, that's respectful, and that, you know, when it's time to be intimate, you can be intimate. If you don't want to be intimate because of a certain reason, he respects that. All right. But not those very aggressive types that might tend to lead to a bad case. Okay. All right. That's so okay. That makes sense. All right. So thank you for sharing that, Sarah. Ladies, thank you for sharing that. And I see Fatty just dropped a super chat. Hey, shout out to you, Fatty. Thank you so much. Shadi with the big super chat.
Ready?
I think I know.
All right, thank you so much. All right, thank you so much, Fatty. I know you're gonna be joining us pretty soon. And if everybody that's watching, thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget that this is a public show. I just pinned the public link on the YouTube live chat. So if you want to join in as a guest, just click on that link on the top of the screen on YouTube. So if you're watching this Facebook, Twitch, or Twitter, you have to come to YouTube and click on the YouTube live chat. It's pinned on the top of the link. Okay, but nevertheless, let me pass it to the fellas. So interesting answers from all these ladies. Interesting based on what type of man they were looking for, the 3 things that they would prefer their man to have 100% responsibility and duty. Because I know a lot of these ladies don't like the word control. And they also described the 3 things that they prefer their man that they have absolutely no say. So obviously we've got some fellas on this panel. It'd be interesting to hear what the fellas think based on what the ladies just described, based on the topic that we're discussing tonight. So let me start with you, Black Zero. So Black Zero, as a man, you got a chance to hear from the ladies.
Yes.
What type
Okay.
of man what's the reaction to it? Go ahead, Black Zero.
All right. So a lot of it was about trust. And I think that what most of you guys, and I'm not trying to mansplain or anything like that, so please just bear with me. But the question that was asked was, if this was the perfect man, what would you let him have agency over? So this is not a person that's going to hurt you. This is not a person. This is somebody who respects your boundaries. This is somebody who does do whatever. This is literally was a question to ask you guys with your imagination, with the perfect man. What would you let him have the absolute say over? And I understand that it's hard as a person to say, I'm going to let somebody have absolute control over this one aspect of my life, even though, control is not a good word or whatever. I believe that in a real relationship, people start to fall into roles according to what they're good. Well, good relationships anyway. Good relationships. People start to fall into roles that they're good at. Like, just using me and my wife as an example, I pay all the bills. And the reason why is because I'm the man, first. And 2, even if I did give her a bill to pay, she probably would not pay it. The reason why is because she's from the Philippines and she wants to put every single dollar we have underneath a mattress just for a rainy day. That's just the truth of the matter. But you know what I do let her do? I let her budget everything else. So after all the bills are paid, I give her the rest of my money. And it gets put to good use and everything. I don't know what's going on half the time. I ask her before we go to when we go to a restaurant, she literally gives me the card, or I let her pay. I don't even do the whole put the card underneath the thing. No. I'm like, hey, go ahead, pay for it. You know why? Because I pay everything else. I literally pay for us to live in the city that she's wanted to live in her entire life. And now we're looking at houses. So it's like I'm giving her the things that she wants, but I'm also not taking all the responsibility of a house, because a good leader delegates. Now, this whole should a man have control over this or should a woman have control of this? I was in the military, and I got to tell you, there's a lot of bitches out there, dude. There's a lot of men that should not have control over anything, let alone their own bathroom privileges. So to me, it's hard to say as a blanket statement that this is how men should act when, yeah, I act like that. And even though I have my own issues, I have my own quirks, I have my own kinks. But when it comes down to it, I am doing what my wife expects for her perfect man to do. And also, during the time that we've been together, I've also been growing, learning the things that are uncomfortable for her, the things that she did not talk about, the things that she's talking about more, because she's getting a lot more, she's trusting, a lot more trusting, like you guys said. Once they start trusting you, once women start trusting you, they are willing to open up about things that they felt certain things about, So for me, I do understand where you guys are coming from. Well, I don't want him to talk about what friends I have, or I don't want to tell him what I'm wearing or anything like that. That's all bullshit. That's all bullshit. Because if you had the right man, it doesn't matter who the fuck you're hanging out with. If your man says, I don't like her, she gives me the creeps, you'd be like, yeah, peace out. I have the perfect man. I don't need that. I don't need anybody else in my relationship or anybody causing harm to my relationships. If he says, hey, your nipples are showing out of that shirt, is there a way you can put a bra on? That's not disrespectful. I don't understand how that would be considered, oh, you are insecure. or the one thing that everybody wants to bring up. Oh, if somebody's liking my DMs, or if somebody's doing all this other stuff talking to me, if I respond, but it's to tell them no. In a guy's world, you don't respond. You don't respond. You respond once saying I have a boyfriend, you're for the streets. That's just how we believe it. This is how it is. That's just how it is. Because you know why? Do you know why? Do you know why? Because in real life, if a guy who was ugly walked up to you, you'd say, you wouldn't even give him the time of day. You wouldn't talk to him. If anything, you would probably call him a creep and be like, "Ooh, this guy." You know, depending on what type of female you are, type of woman you are. Okay, so I don't want to. I've been around the world, L.A., New York, across all over the world. The only women that I've ever seen that were totally faithful to the ones who just did not respond to male attention, or when male attention did come to them, they responded with, "This is my husband, right here." You know, so I understand that everybody wants their anonymity. Everybody wants their own personality, their own life. But that doesn't happen when you get together. That doesn't happen when you get married. Everything gets like this, and if you do not lean on your significant other, you're going to break your relationship. That's just how it is, in my opinion.
Okay.
Why is clothing a determining factor of who you end up with, though? Because me personally, I spent over 20 grand. I spent over 20 grand on my body. I'm gonna wear what the fuck I want to wear. Point blank. Period. And if that's a problem, then that's not the man. The man for me will not be worried about what I'm wearing. Because number one.
Let me just step in, Gabby. That's actually a good question. I actually wrote that down. We're gonna come back and cover that. Let me just get to Devil and Balofessa, and then we'll come back full circle and open that up for you. Okay, I got you, Gabby.
We love it, Gabby. Let's go. Let's go.
All right, that's actually a good question. That's actually a good question that you just asked. All right.
I'm not determined that.
I got you. Hey, I see Angel Naw. Hey, what's up, Angel Naw? First time he see you in the live chat. Good to catch you live, Will. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Everyone in the live chat. Let's get that live chat popping. I know a lot of you guys are watching this right now. Let me know what you guys think, and don't forget to the public link if you want to join and be part of the panel. Just click on that link on the YouTube live chat. So let me pass it to you, Devil. Devil, you got a chance to hear from the ladies. Obviously, you're a guy, so it'd be interesting to hear what's your reaction, what's their thoughts based on what they said. Go ahead, Devil.
Yeah, I was gonna react to Gabby's point earlier. You know, because I hear a lot of her views as kind of the common theme nowadays, kind of in our culture, and I think that they sound reasonable, but all of them have a presupposition, meaning they assume that women can't have a lapse in judgment. They can't wear something they probably shouldn't have worn. They will always weed out the people with bad intentions in their friend group. They don't need any help. They don't need a second opinion. They don't need any help, really navigating an environment of people that are out to compete with her for her boyfriend or break them up out of jealousy or their own intentions with her. Again, this is stemming from the whole, like, I can wear what I want. I should be able to hang out with who I want without a second opinion about it. Because I think it's a lot more in the social norm for women to opine on, who a man hangs out with, or oh, that girl likes you. Like, it's the same side. I mean, it's a different side of the same coin. So my question would be, is it possible for a woman to think that a guy just wanted to, pop a bottle with her and have a good time, or smoke with her, or take a photo shoot of her for her Instagram? Like, is it possible for a woman to make a bad judgment call about a man's intentions? Because I think the obvious answer is it happens all the time. And it goes both ways. Men can make bad judgment calls about a woman's intentions, right? But a lot of times, women are the ones fielding these offers, right? It's not like men have droves of women approaching them like, hey, oh, you're kind of cute. Can I do a photo shoot for you?
Yourself.
You want to come on my yacht? Yeah, right. So maybe Black Zero over here.
On average.
So the problem I see here is that it's like a kid saying that they want to make all their own rules for themselves and that they can't make a mistake. and the parent knows. I know it's kind of messed up, but the parent knows, like, no, because then you're just gonna eat cookies all day, because that's what I would have done. And so really it's like you can control the things that I will allow you to control, which becomes you can't control anything. You can just have an opinion on things that I will allow you to have an opinion on, because the truth is men can see when other men are just kind of orbiting, waiting for, her to vent to them about a problem they're having in their relationship. So my question to Gabby is like, do you think that it's healthy, or do you think that there are situations where, generally speaking, men will try and sabotage a relationship or tell a woman what she wants to hear when she's having problems in her relationship? Oh, he said that, man, knowing dang well he's the same guy that if he were to start dating her and break up their relationship, he'd start wanting to control her too. He'd start wanting her to only, to not wear certain things, but he just wants his shot at her. So he's telling her that, her man, she's right in every argument that her and her man have. Like, I just think it's really rare that guys are honest with women. Like, no, you know what, you're kind of in the wrong, because their intentions are usually, nefarious. So that's the one chink in kind of like Gabby's argument's armor. Is kind of, it presupposes that women don't make mistakes, and everyone makes mistakes.
Pre-implied that women don't have the intelligence enough to make the right decision. Obviously, if I'm with somebody, I'm not gonna be hanging out with people who are trying to shoot videos for me, or meeting up with producers. That's not something that's gonna happen when I'm in a relationship. You're kind of pre-implying that we can't make the right decisions for ourselves because we're not intelligent enough to know when a man is just trying to get in our pants. We all know what the fuck is going on. When a man hops in our DMs, oh my God, I'm a producer, I'm trying to make a video, I know what the fuck is going on. Let's not play.
Okay. So then, to be fair, to respond to that, if you're out wearing things that many women would say, you're marketing yourself to, and I don't know what you wear in your particular situation, but I think what most men don't want is they don't want women acting in a way, whether it be sexually or wearing something that is seen as marketing to other men, putting themselves in positions where
marketing to other men. If I'm wearing a bikini, is that me marketing myself to other men? Because I'm just trying to have a good time. I'm trying to swim. Is that me marketing myself to other men?
If would you agree that there are women out there who are not satisfied in their relationship that wear things to garner attention from other men?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Okay.
At me, I've spent for 20 grand on the perfect body that I want. I've spent a lot of money. I'm not going to let a man dictate what I wear. If I want to wear a fucking bikini, I'm going to wear a fucking bikini.
So my next question is, those women that I mentioned, not you, those women, would they admit that they're insecure about their relationship and that that's the reason why they want to wear bikinis and garner attention from other men? Or would they say exactly what you just said?
I can't speak for other women because I generally think like that. I couldn't give you what their ideology is because I've never thought like that personally.
But we all know women. Sorry.
Go ahead, Black.
I was just gonna say we all know women that do that. That's just it. Like, how do we differentiate the women who are just going out there to have fun to the women who are saying, hey, I'm on display, I'm here to be touched because my boyfriend is, I don't know, at work 12 hours. How do we discern that?
Even if I'm wearing slacks, and you can ask Will because he's seen me in person. Even if I'm wearing slacks, people
that's not the point. That's not the point. We know that. We know that. We know that. That's not the point though. The point is that you could either wrap yourself in a nice wrapper and go out and present yourself to a man, or you can stay at home and dress down.
Even if I'm wearing slacks and a blazer, which I wear regularly, I work in real estate. I wear slacks and a blazer all the time. Even regardless of what I'm wearing, I'm still getting whistled at. I'm still getting that attention from men that I'm not even necessarily fishing out for. That attention is still coming regardless of what I wear. Will it be a little more hefty when I'm wearing a bikini or when I'm wearing, a cover up?
Hefty.
Thank you for saying that, because I was gonna say the ratio of the difference is higher.
Regardless, the attention is still coming. Trust me, Will You know, I wear slacks every single day, and every single day I'm still getting hit on. Every single day I'm still getting whistled at. Every single day I'm still getting harassed. There's
And you
nothing
paid, you paid, and I'm not saying this is why you paid for that. You paid so you could express yourself and look like you want to look, right? But you also, the secondary effect of the things that you paid for was that amount of attention multiplying, because that's
you just have to keep that in mind. And when I first got my body done, that wasn't even a factor in my mind.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just Devil, we can just wrap it up real quick.
Yeah, all right. I'll give you like 10 seconds, 20 seconds.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, my message to men would be: do you want to try and, you know, get a woman who has the mindset of Gabby to kind of fit in your mold of, you know, can you field all that extra competition for somebody that you are dating or in an exclusive relationship with, that's essentially inviting competition? It will garner the attention of men that want her and want her to end her relationship with you, so they're going to try everything, you know, to get into her head to do that. Some of them are idiots, and they're going to whistle and they're going to hoot and they're going to holler and they're going to harass her. Others are going to be coy, and they're going to work their way into her friend zone, find common interests. Oh, you're looking for a photographer. Oh, you're looking for a videographer. And, you know, we all have to be humble in the fact that there are people out there smarter than us and more socially attuned than us, and with a bigger wallet than us, with a better body than us. And so my message to men is, do you want to be in that position with a woman that's, you know, casting her net wide for that attention? Or do you want to cut at the roots of the problem rather than trim at the leaves, and perhaps do what Black Zero did and pick from a culture where that's not a problem by and large?
All right, no worries. All right, thank you for sharing that, Devil. All right,
she chose me, by the way. I didn't go. She chose me. But
ooh, okay.
All right, no worries. We got some back and forth
Black's
going on.
awesome, Black.
Appreciate the dialogue between Devil and Gap. You, I see To with the. Hey, what's up, To? With a $1.99 super chat. All right, shout out to you. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for all your support. Appreciate you guys for supporting the channel. Thank you so much. We have a great topic, a hot topic to discuss. Hot Topic Wednesdays, and appreciate everybody on the panel with the discussions and their feedback. Appreciate you guys. Let's get the live chat popping. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we do have some room on the panel, so if you want to jump on as a public guest, click on that link on the YouTube live chat. You can definitely jump on. So let me pass it to Paulo Fessa. Paulo Fessa, thank you for your patience, for being patient. But yeah, what are your thoughts? You got a chance to hear from the ladies based on what they want and what they meant to have 100% responsibility and accountability on, the things that they wouldn't want their man to have any kind of say in. So what are your thoughts on that? Obviously, you're a man, but what's your thoughts on that based on your perspective?
It seems that we have an interesting dichotomy when it comes to men and women, what we can and can't control. In the sense of, I've heard these lovely ladies on the panel speak on, as a man, I need to trust you. And part of that trust is a set of metric that you must move in accordance of. However, I can be wild and free. I should be able to trust you to be disciplined enough, self-regulating in your emotions. But when it comes to me, I can just be free and wild. And it's quite interesting. It very much is. And if you're under the assumption that that is how a relationship will work, and that's what a healthy relationship is, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but that is not. A man and a woman, in the sense that we're discussing relationship, is that me as a man, I have a level of control over your autonomy. I do. Things about closing, it has nothing, for me, it has nothing to do with myself and insecurity. As a woman, I pick you because you're an extension of who I am as a man. And if I am a disciplined, accountable, and resilient man, you are the extension of those qualities. And if you're telling me that I should be able to wear whatever the hell I want to wear, then you're not disciplined enough, therefore you're not aligning with the vision that we have. And that's fine. I think people can agree that I don't need to be in that relationship, and that's great. But when we speak on the type of men, the ideal men to be in relationship, to be good leaders that aren't tyrant, men who are going to be accountable, who are going to give you that lifestyle of, you can stay home, baby, I'll take care of the rest. You can go and spend whatever it is that you need to spend on the house. You can spend whatever on the car. Those type of men will look at life and go, there is an order and there's chaos. My job is to be able to mitigate whatever chaos comes into it. And if you as my woman is part of that chaos, I'll give you a bit of guidance. I'll grab your hips when I need to and direct you where we need to go. But I think this conversation needs to go deeper, and I think there's a lot of self-reflection to be had. The type of man that a lot of women want, who are confident in their own leadership and not insecure and when it comes to clothing and things like that. Those type of men will look at that thing, that sort of dynamic, and go, it's not insecurity, it's that we represent each other. If I'm going to show up in a suit, I expect you to show up in a dress, not a skimpy little knee-high, whatever it is that women wear nowadays. My wife, every time we do any corporate event or we go out to any function, she goes out shopping, and 5 to 10 minutes after she hits a mall, she sends through a series of pictures. What are these options? Which one do you like best? And I choose from there, and that's what we wear. That's one example of how that look. And for my wife, she gets the freedom to be a stay-at-home mom. She has the freedom of going back to studying. She has the freedom of choosing whether she wants to work or not. That is the give and take that we have in the relationship. And to sort of be concise, there can't be two steering wheel in the vehicle of relationship. And I don't like the idea of this notion of partnership. I like to think we're a team. There are times that we're up and we're batting and we're running the bases, and there are times we're midfielding. Those things we have to be in agreement with. We can't always bat. And when it comes to fielding, oh no, you do all of that. We are a team and we play such as.
All right, no worries, Balofessa. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate that. SCT dropped another super chat. Salute, Balofessa. All right, shout out to you. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, T and SCT. You just dropped another question, another super chat. I'll save that. Let me get back to the panel. I know Fatty just joined. I'll get Fatty's take, and then I know Gabby had a question, and definitely I'll come back, T, to your question that you have in the live chat. So thank you for your question. I really appreciate that. Definitely make sure we give time for your question. And don't forget, if you want to support and donate to the channel, for support the content, always trying to give you guys the best quality content. Every single donation goes back to my content. The best way to donate, drop it through a super chat. If you have a question, if you have a topic that you guys want us to discuss that's related to tonight's topic, ask it through a super chat. Or if you just want to donate because you love the content and you love the panel, or and you want to support me on the platform, just drop a super chat. So appreciate it. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. Let's get the live chat. And don't forget, like and subscribe, and the public link into the YouTube live chat. So if you want to jump on and be part of the guest list, click on that link. All right, I'll pass it to you, Fatty. Fatty, thank you for jumping on, as always. You already know, so you see the topic for tonight. And of course, I don't know if you got a chance to hear what the ladies, based on their explanation of what aspects of their life that they prefer their man to control, and what aspects of their life they prefer the men absolutely not to control. But what's your thoughts based on your reaction? And or if you didn't get a chance to hear, just what's your thoughts on the topic in general? Should a man be able to control his woman's life?
First of all, I appreciate you, Will. I'm sorry for being late. I just blacked out. It's kind of interesting because like what Black Zero said, it's your dream man. He's not like, he's a good man. He's not somebody that you actually are assuming the worst because they are going to abuse the power. And I would believe that it's not one size fits all. I think we actually sometimes shift the accountability to the man. I believe a lot of men are going to actually overstep their boundaries when it comes to control his life, his woman's life, because they are actually not competent enough to do it. So, for example, if I marry a financial advisor, there's no reason for me to actually be handling the money. She's a professional, and I get this my traditional role, even as the provider. But if she's more competent than me in something, I think I actually should delegate the power to her. So I would go a mix of both. I would say that a man should actually control or have input into a big percentage of a woman's life when he actually marries her. I think a woman needs to have a 20 to 30% range where actually she's comfortable about voicing her opinions about what she doesn't agree. So they can have a type of back and forth when it comes to her insecurities, the things that she feels that her husband is doing wrong, or if he's going on the bad direction in her opinion. I believe that actually that should have like a small percentage leadway where the woman feels comfortable, like a dad and a son. I think is 80% you being strict with the kid and 20% of a window where the kid can come to you and say, "Hey, dad, this is what I think. I want to talk to you about this. I think this is what is happening." So he actually has a window of communication. I believe, and unfortunately, I didn't want to make a comparison with the kid, but I think women actually need the same type of behavior, like 80%, 70% of control and a window of back and forth where a woman feel comfortable in saying that, okay, can I wear that dress? No, can you explain me why? I think a conversation a lot of times is needed for a woman to understand why we're doing that, because that's what we do. We make sure that they don't think it's just because, it's because there's a reason for me to not want you to wear that dress, go to their place, talk with that person. There's a reason for it. And that is on those 20, 10, 30%, depending on the relationship.
All right, no worries. Thank you for sharing that, Fatty. Appreciate that.
Can I say something?
Yeah,
For
go ahead,
Fatty
go ahead.
and Paula. Okay,
Right.
so both of you guys said some interesting stuff, and there's one thing that I did not say that I wanted to make sure that I said, so nobody gets this wrong. When it does come down to a standstill where my wife wants one thing and I want another thing, majority of the time, I always get the final word, like 99% of the time. And the reason why it works like this is because majority of the time I'm right. Like, and I'm not trying to like pump myself up or anything like that. The majority of the time, I'm thinking things through 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 steps ahead. While the majority of my family or my wife and my kids or whatever's going on, they're thinking about today and tomorrow. Well, I'm thinking about a month from now in majority of situations. So if I don't want it to come off where I'm saying that, oh, a man has only these little aspects. No, as a leader, this is where I'm going to bring Fatty into it, where it's the dictating thing. You have to dictate. You can't do everything. If you're not good at something, you should not be doing it. Like, you're just going to put yourself in financial ruin. And good leaders understand that. Good leaders understand, like I said, like Paulo said, like Paulo Festa said, he said, that you're a representation of me. That is 1000% accurate. And I believe almost every man feels that way. That's my woman, is what you hear when somebody loves somebody. Like when a man loves somebody, that is my woman. The reason why they say it like that is because it's like, when you look at her, you better respect her, because you got to respect me. You better respect her. You have to understand that what comes from her comes from me. If you do anything to her, you got me to deal with. And that's a responsibility that all men understand between each other. So if you have a woman that's disrespectful, dressing like, wherever she wants to, at a family party, or what's going on, and things are not, meshing, not only are your friends going to say something, your family's going to say something. Like, you're going to be looked at as a man, especially if you're an islander. If you're an islander and you're getting disrespected by your children or your wife or anything like that, it is no-go. Like, that is just, you're going to be talked about. You're going to be, there's a lot of things that's going on with that. But I just wanted to say, like, yeah, do me and my wife have conversations? Is she in charge of stuff? Yeah. But, the things that she's in charge of, I double check. I know that sounds condescending to most of you guys, but as a leader, you have to double check, because the moment it doesn't happen, we lose our lights. And whose fault is that? The moment it doesn't happen, our car doesn't, whatever is her responsibility. If it doesn't happen, whose responsibility is it on? Ours. That's all I wanted to say.
All right, no worries. Thank you for sharing that, Black Zero. And I see T with another super chat. Shout out to you, T. Okay, he shared. Thank you so much. Most men do delegate power on things he knows she's more competent at. Well, I know in most African households. All right, thank you so much. Appreciate that. There you go. All right, thank you so much for your super chats, man. You've been going on a roll in the super chats, man. Thank you so much, man. Much appreciated. All right, and I still remember your topic that you dropped in the super chat. I'll definitely come back to that Thank you for everybody on the panel for sharing your responses. I do want to get to the topic. I think it's a very important topic that relates to this topic, the main topic that we're discussing about. I know Gabby brought it up. I know Gabby said, why is it a problem for men why do men have a problem for not allowing their women just to wear whatever they want? Because I know Gabby, you're free spirited. I know you said that you invested a lot financially into your body. You definitely look good, but you want to be able to wear whatever you want, wear and go wherever you want with whomever you want. So I think your question was like, why do a lot of men have a problem and put standards on what women should wear, especially if they're going to go into a very committed relationship, especially potentially marriage.
I mean,
So
Will, I think it's like common sense. Obviously, I'm not going to go to like a family party and, you know, a bikini and a cover up. It's common sense. I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
Go up to a family party and like something that's revealing. It's that should already be pre-implied, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
But I think personally, like me, I wear a lot of stuff that may be revealing, and that's what I like to wear, and that's okay. You know, everybody has their own preferences, but I don't necessarily think that should be something that my man is worried about. If he trusts me enough, he should trust me enough to know that if I'm walking around in a little cute dress, I'm not going to be entertaining these guys. I'm not going to be going behind his back and talking to all these men because you're my man, and I've already decided that. I'm married. I don't have a ring on, but when I am married, I'm not going to be flaunting myself, you know, paying attention to these men, entertaining them, giving them the benefit of a conversation. It's just not going to happen. When I hear people whistling at me, when I hear people trying to talk to me, I ignore them. And I'm sure other women on this panel can relate. It happens to all of us. It's like nothing I do will make an outfit unrevealing. Even if I'm wearing slacks, like I said before, I'm still going to be catcalled at. So what is the difference between me going to the beach and wearing a bikini and me going to work and wearing slacks? Like, there's nothing I can do about the attention I get. It's how I handle the attention is what's going to be the determining factor if you want to be with me or not. It's the way you handle things. It's not what I wear. It's the way that stop, babe. It's the way that I deter and, kind of delegate my emotions.
Let me just ask you some questions, Gabby, and I'll pass it back to the panel. I know you guys want to respond to what Gabby said, because I do want to hear from the ladies as well. I'll come back to Maria and Sarah. So obviously, Gabby, let me ask you. So I think women. I can ask it to all the ladies. So ladies, we all know that if you're a very attractive person, you're always going to garner attention, right? You're always going to garner attention from men. That's just a given. And fellas, we all understand that if you date a pretty woman, you have to understand getting with the pretty woman, she's always going to get attention. If you don't want attention, then don't date a pretty woman.
I agree with you. If you don't want anybody hitting on your girl, don't fucking date a hot girl.
All right. So, but ladies, can we all agree, ladies, on this panel, that as a woman, you can control the attention that you get from men based on what you wear? Agreed? Even though we know that men will still give you attention, right? We all know this, especially if you're pretty. I know you're all pretty ladies on here, but to some degree, you can control how much you wear. Obviously, if you're naked, you can get absolute attention. All right, so that's just an example, extreme example. But based on what you wear and how much you cover up, right, especially the more voluptuous parts of your body, there's a way a lot of women can do. You guys can control it, right? Yeah. Ladies, yes or no? Do we agree with that?
No, I don't agree with that.
Huh? You don't agree? You don't agree that you can't control to some degree?
I wear slacks. I wear a formal dress, and I'm still getting catcalled left and right. It doesn't matter.
There will always be men who always give you attention. That's all I'm saying. So I'm just saying is you can control to various degrees how much attention you can get. Can we agree with that or no?
No matter what I wear, I'm still a baddie. Like, and I'm sure all these women on the panel can agree. We're fucking baddies.
So Gabby, even if
I'm not wearing.
Can I step in on this conversation?
I'm a baddie too, by the way.
Gabby, let me.
Fatty the baddie.
Gabby. I'm just saying is there's. Let me put it this way: there's certain outfits that you have that you've noticed get more attention than certain outfits that you have.
No, I can't agree with that because number one, when I'm wearing
More attention, more or less attention.
cutest thing in the world, I don't get any attention. And when I'm wearing no makeup, I'm wearing sweats, and I walk into a taco shop, that's when everybody wants to hit on me. I cannot agree with that.
Okay.
Wait. Okay. Let me step into this conversation about the dress part, right? So this is what. Gabby, give me 5 minutes. The world of a man is hyper competitive. Now, for a woman to respect a man, he's got to be at some level of accolades, right? When you dress a certain way, we spoke about this earlier. You represent your man. And if you dress a certain way, skimpy, whatever you want to qualify it, what the world essentially... Hold on now. We'll get to that part, Gabby. We'll get to that part. I'm not implying to you. I'm just saying in general.
No, you are.
We'll get to your point.
Oh, if you can wear whatever you want, then this is the attention.
Let me make my point. Let me make my point because you're stuck on you. You're stuck on you right now. Okay. So the reason why there's a particular type of dress code, if you want to call it, is because you represent your man. Now, we live in a very hyper-competitive world. And if another man looks at me and say, oh, that's his wife, she dresses a particular type of way, that is the engagement of that man on the leadership of whoever it is on me. And my opportunity now becomes limited based on how he perceives your woman. The higher you go, and I can understand that some women want men who operates at a higher level of society, especially in corporate world. If our wives do not represent us well, that means we lose out on opportunities that could be presented, that supports the vision of the family, supports whatever financial gains that we have. And this is the blindness that women don't have towards men. It's not so much about your dress. It's not so much about the attention. It's what is the attention, and can that attention be used in a negative way to disadvantage you from any opportunity?
But even
that
if
is why when we
still getting that negative attention.
No. It's not about the sexual attention. It's the opportunity that the man gets based on how well his woman represents him. Now we're taking it away from insecurity. When I've heard you guys talk about the type of man you want, I'm thinking he's a hyper competitive man, exists in the world, most likely corporate. It's hyper competitive in those world. And if I as a man look at say Black Zero and his wife is wearing tiger stripes and knee-high dresses, I'm going to look at hold on now you're still stuck on you. If I look at Black Zero's wife and she's wearing tiger strips or whatever, knee-high dresses, I'm going to look at Black Zero and go, I don't want Black Zero to be a leader in any of my corporation. If he can't control his wife, therefore he's not going to get that opportunity. That's one example of it.
All right, thank you, Professor. Let me pass this back to the ladies, and we'll come back full circle to the panel, to the fellas. I'll start with you, Maria. I don't know, Maria. I don't know if your video is frozen right now. I'll come back to Maria. I'll pass it back to you, Sarah. So, Sarah, we were on the topic that we're talking about Gabby, about why do men have? Why is it a concern for a man to have a woman that allows him to have some kind of control over how much she wears? What are your thoughts on that, Sarah?
Well, I one thing is I feel like it's kind of interesting because like Gabby's perspective and I think most of the men here's perspective are like two totally opposite ends of the spectrum. And I think the truth is kind of in the middle, where we have a lot of guys who are kind of assuming that like, okay, if a woman wears, say, a skimpy outfit, she's automatically advertising herself. Because you guys pay attention to that more. When in reality, as women, we know the lived experience of knowing that, yeah, there are times when we go out and maybe we're wearing very little clothing and maybe we get attention, but we've also been outside being very covered up and gotten even more attention just simply because of the situation. Like, that is the lived experience of a woman. I mean, there's plenty of times, and every woman has a story about a time when she's left the house feeling like, I don't want anybody to look at me, and like tried to dress in a way that was like dressed down and ended up getting more attention than when she gets all dolled up and tries to like sell herself to the world. I mean, every woman has that experience at some point in her life. So I think there's a little bit of disconnect here between men assuming a woman's lived experience because of how they're perceiving women. I understand that men are like, oh, I pay more attention to a woman who's wearing less clothing, but that's not always our own lived experience. So I think that there's like a middle ground here. I'm not saying that like women should be walking around wearing bikinis all the time, but I also think that I think there's a little bit of a disconnect here between the way that men are perceiving.
You just don't understand. You could
how women, yeah, because you haven't lived that experience. So I think there's a little bit of a disconnect there. So that's where I think we're hitting a bit of a barrier here. But I also think too, one thing that, and I think Fatty actually touched on this, which I think was really important, talking about like having a conversation about things and actually like talking about the whys of things. Because at the end of the day, if say a man is like, I don't want you wearing such and such a dress for some reason or something, it's like, if you don't have the conversation about like, okay, why is it you don't want me to wear this dress? Then you're going to end up building resentment. Is it because you're going to a work function, like Palafesso said, you're going to a work function and you wearing this dress is going to make me look bad to the people I work with? Because in that situation, that's not only hurting him, it's hurting his income, it's hurting your income, like it's hurting the whole situation, and saying, you know what? It's in the best interest of everybody for me to dress in a way that maybe is a little bit different or more occasion appropriate. But
then
if you're wearing,
hold on. Then when would it be appropriate? Like I'm sorry.
I'm going to get to that.
Okay, sorry. I was like,
I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that in a second. Because if you're wearing a certain outfit or whatever, and again, I'm not talking about walking around in a bikini, but you're wearing a certain outfit and a man is like, I don't want you to wear that. And you're like, okay, let's talk about it. Why don't you want me to wear that? And he's like, well, because I'm afraid that other men are going to pay attention to you and you might just decide to leave me for another man that pays attention to you. That's and I know guys like to always say it's not an insecurity thing. Sometimes it is an insecurity thing. And if it is an insecurity thing, then that's something that needs to get addressed. Why do we have an insecurity issue in our relationship? Why are you not confident in our relationship? Why are you not confident in our commitment in the relationship? Because the reality of the situation, I've been in the situation before, the reality is if a man is coming from a place of insecurity, not saying he always is, but if he does say, you can't wear this because I'm insecure, and you're like, okay, you know what? I'm going to change. It's going to become another thing. It's going to be something else that, oh, well, I don't want you to do this because I'm insecure. If you don't deal with insecurity, it's going to rot away with the relationship. That's the problem. So, I think there are certain situations where the conversation needs to be had. It's not a matter of you can wear this, you can't wear this. It can be a conversation of like, all right, if you don't want me to wear this, why don't you want me to wear this? And actually be okay. Because if you're going to be in a relationship, you need to be able to have those tough conversations. You need to be able to be honest with each other about what that means. And I also want to say, and I don't think that men really truly understand this statement that I'm about to say, but it is deep. There is like nothing sexier to a woman than if she's out, she's feeling good, she's dressed however she's dressed, she's feeling good, and she's with her man, and another man checks her out, and her man's reaction is like, yep, I get to go home with her. Like if he's that confident that he knows that other men can check her out, but he's so confident that he knows
like that's my girl,
she's with him, like that's my girl.
That's a lie, Sarah.
That is nothing. There's nothing sexier than
That's
that.
a lie.
That's not a lie. I'm telling you.
Let me man explain this, Sarah. Okay.
That confidence is sexy.
Wait. Is it more sexier? Is it more sexier to have that experience, or is it more sexier for a man to kiss up on the places you don't want to be kissed on? Which one would you prefer, and which one hires in a little sexiness?
The first one.
We're not talking about hierarchy here. We're talking about sexiness. Like
fair
it's
enough.
sexy.
Okay. Kissing up on the little places that you find insecurity in and saying you're beautiful, baby.
Well,
okay.
as women,
That's
we
not
shouldn't
sexy
really
at
have
all.
to choose which is sexier. But like at the end of the day, like it's sexy for a man to have that level of confidence. For a man to be like, "Yep, she's with me, and I know she's with me," and that's like that confidence is sexy. There's oftentimes women will dress like that literally just to get that reaction from a man.
Yeah, that is very problematic.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1
It's
second.
a turn on, so you know.
All right. I got a super chat from Tio. Give me 1 second, everybody. Tio 499. Thank you so much. Shout out to you. Why are you not confident wearing clothes that cover your body? Why are you not confident listening to your man? All right. Thank you so much. Had to get that super chat in. Thank you so much. All right. I know Sarah. I know you got a chance to go. I gotta pass it back to Maria, and then I bring it back another fellas. Fatty, I know you wanted something to say, but go back to Maria.
Can
Maria,
I go after David? Because I didn't listen to him. I can go after David.
Maria,
Okay.
anything you want to add on to our conversation about men? You know, we were talking about men having concerns about what their woman wears, what type of clothes she wears. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, I think there's definitely, again, boundaries and levels. Like you reflect your partner. So I do think that you should dress decently. But if you want to dress, you know, feminine and sexy, I think that's okay too. Again, I just think there's some tasteful looks and there's some that are definitely inviting to the wrong type of attention that opens doors to get that attention.
Okay. All right. No worries. Okay. And then I'll pass it to you, Devil. Thank you for sharing that, Maria. Pass it to you, Devil. Devil, what did you want to add on, Devil?
Yeah. There was a point made about insecurity, and I think the point I'd make in response to Sarah is that men can read. When a man hears a woman saying that, when I hear Sarah and Gabby saying that, I hear, you know, you might not be dressing that way because you're having the conscious thought of like, I want to go garner male attention and gain more suitors and followers and people that see me as a potential partner, even though I'm in a relationship. They're sexually attracted to me. But men, I would push men, anyone that matters to me, that to do not escalate things with women who will die on the hill of you will not affect my ability to maximize my ability to attract men while we're together. That's what I see. You can't mess with my ability to cast my net as wide as possible and wear as much makeup as possible or show as much skin as I want. I'm going to decide exactly how much skin I show, how much makeup I wear. And I know that the more makeup I wear and that the more skin I show on average will attract more attention to men. Saying that I went out in sweats once and guys were all over me is just an exception to the rule. And odds, I mean, guys will, you can't disagree with the fact that guys will approach just about anyone anywhere. You know, if you get a guy that's scrubby and scruffy, like he's not going to get the same kind of attention as a woman. Guys can see through clothing. Yeah, you might not have had any makeup. Yeah, you might have been wearing saggy sweats and a sweater, but men see through that and they still would have sex with you. That's just a fact.
You're speaking of experience, but you have never lived it. I have gotten
that doesn't. It doesn't matter because this whole conversation reminds me of a quote that I literally just heard yesterday. Fatty, listen to this. It's right. Men are lovers pretending to be pragmatists, which means like we bounce around the red pill in the manosphere and we say you need to, you know, act this way because women could do this to you. But at the end of the day, if a man's truly in love, he'll lose his house, he'll lose his kids. In an environment where everyone now, you don't have an excuse not to know the risks.
Did you just
right?
lose over somebody
like
that he loves?
Family court system, he will subject himself to the risks of the family court system. In many cases, men are losing custody of kids and making dumb decisions and not signing prenups when they have plenty of assets, right?
Why are y'all doing that?
Because they're lovers. Because men are listen. Guys, don't let Gabby take away from the quote. Gabby, can I just finish the quote?
Let the devil finish the Gabby.
It's just this is my last point. It's the quote is men are lovers pretending to be pragmatists. They talk a big game, but when they're in love, they will risk it all and they will lose it all. And women are pragmatists pretending to be lovers. Look at how Gabby and Sarah are talking. Everybody on this panel knows in their gut that the more a woman dresses a certain way, the more of a certain type of attention they'll get. They're hiding behind this exception of a rule because we're not women, so we can't speak on it. There was a study done. If you want to study, there was a study done where it literally had women in flats women in 3-inch heels and women in 6-inch heels, and they dropped something on purpose. And the women in flats got like an offer from a man as he walked by to help pick the thing up. It was like 40, 70, and like 90% of the time, the higher the heel got, the more, shapely her legs, and you know what effects that heels have on a woman and how they look, the more likely a man was to approach them. Women, they are so socially attuned that they don't have to know the science behind it. They don't have to see the studies. They just know in their head. And so they'll hide behind it. Again, pragmatists pretending to be lovers. You don't have a lived experience as a woman, so you guys can't speak on it, but they know, and the science shows you exactly the type of behaviors that high heels, makeup, showing skin elicits from men. And there are actually studies now, so they can't get around it. But again, that quote is it's just to a T what we're talking to today, what we're speaking to today. So that's all I had to say.
All right, Daryl, thank you so much. Let me pass it to Fatty. I'll definitely come back to you, Gabby. I'll pass it back to you, Fatty. Fatty, I know you wanted to add on something. Go ahead, Fatty.
Yeah. Don't you ever dated a disingenuous woman, a woman that plays dumb and thinks we actually don't understand what it is? And let me give you an example, right? On the 2000s and 10s, 2007s, there was a trend about sagging pants, right? The G Unit, Carmelo Anthony, Soldier Boy era. My girlfriend was extremely insecure about that. She was extremely anxious about that because I would get some type of attention that I wouldn't get if I actually wasn't sagging my pants, because there was actually the era. And when she voiced what actually bring her that discomfort, because every time we went, people would look at me because I had the proportion where that will actually be a attraction level when it comes to women. She would voice that multiple times. You know what I did? I went to the store, bought the fucking belt, and went from there. There's no conversation to be had. I will sacrifice myself to actually make you comfortable, because there's no need for me to put insecurities. There's no need for me to put anxieties. There's no need to put stress on you that I don't have to do it because you feel some type of way about the way that I dress. Gabby is being extremely disingenuous. I understand that even if you are on a baggy suit or on a baggy clothes when you go to the gym, you are going to get attention. But at least it shows that you're putting the effort. At least shows that you consider your man. You put baggy clothes and you go to the gym. And if men eat on you, totally fine. You don't have fault for the body that God or you actually pursued. And it's fine. We are not going to actually penalize you. And we are not actually going at you because you are voluptuous or have a form where men are going at you. But the fact that you still want to flaunt that means that you want your cake and you want to eat it too. You want the man that you want and you want his attention, and you still don't.
If I wanted the attention, I would go after the man.
I'll pass you the mic. I have more 20 seconds. And it seems that a woman that does that is a woman that wants your attention and still wants to actually play the field and have everybody looking at her.
The field?
1 second.
Gabby, just let him finish.
Gabby, I'm going to give you this example and the microphone is yours, right? If your man is flaunting money left and right, he goes to the club, he throws bills around, he bought bottles, he parks the Ferrari in front of everybody, and every woman gives him attention because they know he has money. If you are in a relationship,
but at the end of the day, he's coming with
me. Please be disciplined, please. Okay, you are showing a lot.
No, honey.
No, I got you. But just show a little bit of restraint, right? If my woman came to me and said, "Fatty, you are flaunting. People are looking at you. Women want to get you because you are flaunting money in front of them," I would say, I will stop, because that is putting in jeopardy the sanctity of my relationship, and I want the best for my partner. So I will forfeit the right to flaunt money and to get extra attention because I love you, I care for you, and there's nothing more important than actually get your attention instead of attention of the world. I think every woman will say, oh damn, that's a man that really cares about his wife. Instead of flaunting money and get the attention of the world, he's actually containing himself, actually controlling himself, and directed his energy to his wife instead of the world. Why can women do the same instead of playing dumb and saying, oh my God, I get the same attention? No, you get more. So please get the clothes that actually are going to represent your man in a good way. And if they still get attention, at least you tried. Try for a man means a lot. Please.
Why would I stop? If my man wants to flaunt his money, if my man's gonna park in front of the club, why is that gonna make me insecure? That doesn't make me insecure.
Don't
because somebody will take it.
I trust my man enough to do all of that and
never
still,
do that.
At the end of the
Never
night,
do that. That is legitimately the worst thing you should say.
Insecure.
It's not about being insecure, but there's always somebody younger. There's always somebody hotter, and if you don't think that, then there's
I'm confident enough to know that my man, even if
you should never be that confident.
Better, he wants me. I know
I'm
that
being honest. You are a very beautiful woman, but you should never be confident enough to where you think that a man who has options will choose you. That is absolutely not. No. We're talking about the top 10%. We're talking about somebody who's driving a Ferrari. We're talking about somebody who's planting his money. We're talking about somebody.
Before.
And you're single.
And
you're single.
I'm single because I want.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Do not say it.
I have my own house.
Do not say it's because I chose to be single.
Over 200 grand a year. And I don't need a man to tell me what the fuck I can and can't wear. I know you might be in a different situation.
We're telling you that is totally dope.
Money,
and we're telling you that's totally dope.
For me personally, I'm not insecure.
But don't pretend like the dude who is literally making it rain at the freaking club will not choose you.
I want to go to the club.
Gal Gadot got cheated on.
If anything, he's going to give me money to make it rain because I'm also making it rain too. I'm making it rain too. We go into the strip clubs together and I'm making it rain too.
Wonder Woman was cheated on. Do you honestly think that you cannot? Because this is the most.
Listen, I'm not going to control you if you're cheating on me, though. Why would I have to control you? Why would I need to?
It's not about controlling. It's about asking. It's about asking somebody to not do something that
you're
uncomfortable with.
I'm not going to stop anyone from doing anything that they want to do.
Because that's a relationship. Hey, wait.
At the end of the day, this is my time. This is my time to talk. So let me talk. At the end of the day, people are going to cheat. People are going to lie. People are going to do whatever they want to do, regardless if I'm saying don't cheat on me, regardless if I'm saying don't, even if I'm giving you the insane amount of love, regardless, people will still cheat. People will still lie. At the end of the day, no matter what, why am I going to be worried about you cheating and lying on me? If you're cheating on me, I'm going to leave you. That's the end of discussion. I'm not sad about it. You lost out on a good person. I'm not worried about it because I'm not insecure. I'm not insecure.
Can I ask you a question? I will pass you the mic.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Do you have any boundary when it comes to what your husband or boyfriend can't do?
Absolutely. And if I see that
one second, I got you, Gabi. I will pass you the mic. Can you give me an example? A boundary that you have about your husband. Let's not go with the cheating and with the we know that is a boundary, right? But let's what is can you give me one or two boundaries that your husband can do, right?
There's nothing he can't do. He can do whatever he wants.
So he can do. Okay, so that's fair. If you think your husband can do everything and
he
fine,
can do everything he wants. If I don't agree with it, I'm going to leave.
No. But there's a bond. No, it's fine. Okay, so
I can't control what other people do. At the end of the day, people
I
are
will
going to do
actually
what they
give you
want
the
to do.
microphone back. Don't worry. You said he can do whatever he wants, but if he does something, 1 second.
I'm happy. I want him to be happy.
Please, Gabi, I'm going to pass you the microphone. It's yours. You said I will let him do whatever he wants, but if he does something, Gabi, please show some restraint. I will pass you the microphone.
You're in my time.
I know, but I'm going to I'm literally going to give you the microphone so you to talk. You said he can do whatever he wants, but if he does something that I don't like, I'm going to leave. That's a boundary. Okay, my question is, what that boundary is that you are going to pick up your things and leave if he actually does it. Please don't say cheating. What are these boundaries?
I can't control what somebody does.
That was not the question.
I'm not going to sit here because the more you control, the more that they don't
Debbie, can you pay attention to my words, please? What is this boundary that is going to make you leave if your man does something? Don't say cheating.
I mean, it's common sense.
Give me
If
an
you're-
example. Give me an
if you're
example of something.
If you're entertaining a conversation that's not appropriate to our marriage or to our
Mhm.
relationship,
Yes.
it's an automatic done. I'm not gonna sit there and argue with you. I'm not gonna sit there and make a fuss. I'm gonna leave, and that's gonna be the worst punishment that you're gonna get. You're
Yes,
not
but
gonna
what-
get, you're
what-
not gonna get any emotions out of me.
Oh,
You're not gonna get any reaction out of me because I'm a grown ass woman. I
Gabby.
understand that everybody. Why are you still talking when I'm talking?
Gabby, this is a little
I'm
bit
talking.
difficult because
But you're still talking. You need to restrain yourself, honey. You need to restrain yourself. Thank you.
Gabby, an inappropriate
No, you're still
conversation.
talking when
Oh
I'm
my
talking,
God,
though.
Jesus Christ!
Okay, let me. I'll go.
We're still talking when it's my turn to talk.
No, you are
Please, honey, restrain
Guys,
yourself.
Gabby, your emotions are out of control.
Guys, for the sake of the conversation, so you guys just go one by one. So, Gabby, what do you need to say? And then once you're done, I'll pass it to Fatty to just get this
Number
conversation.
one, I'm not a jealous person. Number two, people are going to do what they want to do, regardless of what you say. So I'm number one, I'm not going to sit there and control you. Number two, once I see something I don't like, either we're going to talk about it or I'm going to leave. There's not going to be any ifs or buts. There's no black and white. I'm not going to control you because number one, stop. If you control somebody, they're still going to do the shit they want to do. They're just going to hide it. So why am I going to sit here and pretend like there's an imaginary line like, oh my God, please don't cheat on me. It's going to happen regardless.
Gabby,
Regardless, even if I'm the best girlfriend in the world, it's going to happen.
Gabby,
So why am I going to pretend like that's not a factor? People are going to do what they want to do. I'm not going to control you, but if I see some fuck shit, it's done.
Gabby, if you, I hope that you finish. You done?
I'm done.
Okay. So, Gabby, if you notice, you even control the conversation. As soon as you hear the conversation going to a place that you don't like, you stop the person that is talking because you don't want the person to go there.
No,
and you
it was
control.
my conversation.
Oh my!
You
You
jumped
see,
in.
doing it again. As soon as I say
You jumped
everybody,
into my conversation.
Gabby, you have to control you have lack of restraint. You did
Honey,
it to
you gotta control your ego. You gotta control your
it's
ego.
not. No,
We
it's
don't-
not my.
You're not doing that
Gabby,
here.
come on, man.
Come on, let's be real, fatty. Like,
Gabby, I don't want
let's be honest.
I don't want to mute you, but I have to. But Fatty, look, you're done. I gotta pass it to Fatty. Fatty, say your piece because I know Black Zero wants to say something, and I gotta go back to the panel. We do have a panel of guests, so they gotta speak as well. So go ahead, Fatty. Let it finish. Don't interrupt, please. And I'll go to Black Zero.
So I want to make a point. I'm going to take it out of her.
Okay.
If my wife, every time she talk, I will stop her on the tracks and I will not let her finish. That's a major sign of disrespect. It means that I don't care about her opinion. It means my opinion is over her. It means that I can stand her talking because every time she seems to say something that I don't like, I will little cut it off so she can bring the conversation to the place that she wants to bring. That's a giant red flag for a man, and it's for a woman too. You have to actually give, like you say, if you're not insecure, if you're extremely confident, you have to give the space to the person to be who they are. But the reality is, again, if you have boundaries on your relationship, and if you actually think that some boundaries, some things that your boyfriend shouldn't do, you should expect the same thing from your husband without calling him insecure. Oh my God, he looks at me and he's just not strong enough to handle a strong woman. Like that shit is something that happened for thousands of years. If you are not willing to compromise the way that you dress because you still want to have attention from other people, you want your cake and you want it too. Am I saying that you need to be on a burqa? Absolutely not. But between skimpy clothes and a burqa, there's a giant room for us to get into an agreement. And I believe that if you are not willing to get to that agreement, you are extremely disingenuous and you're acting on bad faith because you think by you playing stupid and saying, I get the same attention getting baggy clothes and getting like skimpy clothes, so I'm going to go with the skimpy clothes. I believe that you're being disingenuous and you're playing dumb because what actually matters for a man is you trying. I will repeat the word and I'll pass the microphone. If you try, that's enough for us. It's fine, you tried. And if 700 men keep eating on you, that's a woman that I chose. I have to deal with that. If you are not willing to try, you shouldn't be in a relationship at all, because a relationship comes with sacrifices. And if you're not willing to sacrifice the attention from other men just because you actually think that actually is important for you, you shouldn't be in a relationship at all. Please go ahead.
All right.
Attention from other men has nothing to do with me.
I'll come back. All right, let me give a shout out to Devil. He just dropped a super chat. All right, thank you, Devil.
Actually, my next message was supposed to be the super chat. I'm just bad with technology, I guess. I'm just kidding. Super chatted plenty of times. I just messed up.
Appreciate the super chat, Devil. Appreciate that. I'm gonna pass it to Black Zero, and I'll definitely come back to the panel again if you guys want to add on to Sarah, Maria, and Balafessa. Make sure everybody gets a chance to speak. Obviously, just want to say to the panel, obviously we're gonna have disagreements. This is a part of the conversation. We have disagreements. So for the sake of the conversation, let's just go. If we have an open dialogue with somebody, just make sure we go one by one for the sake of the viewers, so they can hear it. If we're all talking, then nobody can hear it, especially people who are watching. So let's just be aware of that. I'll pass it to you, Black Zero. Go ahead, Black Zero.
Okay. Now, Gabby and to all the other women, I hope you guys don't take that we're trying to bark at you or anything like that. That's not going on. That's not what's happening. And I apologize if it came out that way. Now, I do have to ask a question. When you're looking at social media, because we're having this whole, we get hit on more when we're, in slacks and stuff like that, which I disagree, even though I'm not a woman. The data is already out there. We already have social media. Okay. So we know that OnlyFans, that people who are naked make more money than people who are in bikinis. And people in bikinis are making more money than the feet pick people. You see what I'm saying? There is a hierarchy of attention, and this is already being digitized and monetized and used to see what people wear. And I believe that's what Fatty was trying to get at, to see what people wear to gain the most attention. Now, without the stats, we already know as men what gets the most attention. And now, this is for my second one. This is my second part of this. Okay? We already talked about, as a married couple, with you being married to the best guy in the world. And if that best guy in the world is paying your bills and going to these functions and stuff like that, and you're wearing nightgowns, and you go to his family's house and you're wearing this, when are you going to have the time to dress inappropriate? That was the question I was going to be asking. When are you going outside without your man and dressed in a way that is going to make him feel good? When is that happening? Because if you're married and you want to go out with your friends, I don't know many women who are all married that get dressed up and have girls' nights that are not cheating. That's just 1000% the truth in my experience. And when I say get dressed up, I mean getting dressed up like hoochies. I'm not talking about going out bowling, because my mom has her friends and they go out bowling, they go out to clubs, 80s clubs, and they're dressed like freaking high socks and long legs. No, my parents are, my mom, who's been married to my dad for the last 35 years, doesn't have, that's not true. She has a male best friend, but that male best friend has not hung out with her since she's been married by herself. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that is encompassed in this whole, or should men talk to women about what they're dressed in and stuff like that. But like I said, the whole process of this conversation is on the idea that our woman is somehow going out to clubs while married and dressing in skimpy clothing. Why? First of all, why in the hell would my wife want to go out on a girls' night where her best friends or her single friends are picking up dudes? And why would she need to be dressed in a way that makes her more appealing to guys when her friend is the one trying to get attention? When we know social media has already told us the hierarchy of payments. And you can't lie to us. You can't say that if I'm wearing a tracksuit or I'm gonna like that. No shit, you're gonna get hit on. Look at you, you're beautiful. Okay, we are not saying that men won't hit on you. Okay, what we're saying is that there's a difference between $6 million that is being made on OnlyFans by somebody who has no idea what they're doing because she decided to get naked, and somebody only making $100,000 because she's selling feet pics and wearing bikinis. Now, the last thing, the whole thing about the bikini thing. Why are we talking about bikinis? I don't understand that. Like, if you're gonna wear a bikini out at the beach, then that's fine. Like, I don't understand why that would be an issue. But if you're wearing a bikini at a family function, then yeah. If you're wearing a bikini when there's not need to be bikini, then yeah. Like, we're using all of these different, like, well, if you wear this or you wear this, this is not part of the problem. The problem is that do you respect when your partner says, "I feel uncomfortable"? If you cannot respect your partner saying, "Hey, I'm sorry, I feel uncomfortable with this," and like I said, we're not talking about somebody who's abusive. We're not talking about somebody who wants to control you. We're not talking about that. We're talking about your perfect man, and without saying my perfect man wouldn't do that, but with you guys all explained, your perfect man would definitely say something like that. I want somebody who protects me. I want somebody who pays the bills. I want somebody who treats me like a queen. I want this. I want that. I want this. Hey. I'm letting you know this right now. I am that guy. My wife does not walk out of this house in booty shorts. It's not happening.
You're pre-implying that.
Say again.
I said you're pre-implying that we're walking out in booty shorts. Who said I'm walking out in booty shorts?
Didn't say that. You missed everything I said before that. What I said before that was that with the being a man, we understand that there are certain aspects of places that you need to go dressed up. Nobody said that you're outside wearing booty shorts. Nobody said you're out, at our family's house wearing G-strings. We're not saying any of these things. What we're saying is that if somebody that was our wife decided to try and do something like that, we would have something to say about it. We are not saying, Gabby, we're not saying that you would do something like that. And yes, I know you think that some of the clothes that you wear are maybe provocative and we might say something about it and you're taking this to heart, but I'm looking at you right now and honestly, your shirt doesn't look bad. I'm not saying that I would be like, no, you can't walk outside like that. Like, I think you're misunderstanding. I think you think that we're like, you can't wear flip-flops because people want to fucking take your feet pics. No, we're not crazy.
Well, that is what you're saying, though.
No, it's not. It's not. What you're saying, though. No, what I'm saying is that if I feel uncomfortable with something because what you're doing is representing me at that situation, and I say, hey, I'm sorry. Okay, so what do I feel uncomfortable with? Like, okay, minus the whole beach attire, minus the whole going to my parents, minus the whole thing. What I would feel uncomfortable with if you came up to me and you said, hey, I want to have a girls' night out. So we're going to go to sushi, we're going to drink we're going to go to karaoke, and then we're going to come home. And I said, that's totally fine. Go right ahead. I don't care. Go right ahead. Here's some money. And you came out and you were wearing a thong and a fucking and coconuts, and you're like, oh, it's freaking new. Hold on. It's Little Mermaid themed. Okay, do you not think that I'm gonna have an issue with that? I'm not saying you're gonna do that, but this has happened to other people. This has not happened to personally me, but it happened to a buddy of mine. And it's funny because she said that she was a virgin. That's a whole different story. Yes. Oh, trust me, I was in the military. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. There's like Fatty said, there's a world of difference between what you're talking about and what we're talking about. We're not talking about controlling your everyday lives because you're going to make the proper decisions anyway. Like, you're talking to us all combative, but you're going to make the proper decisions anyway. If you love me.
Black Zero. They don't understand it until your boyfriend wear gray suit pants and he's a shower and not a grower. As soon as they actually don't care until your boyfriend is a shower and not a grower, and he wears gray sweatpants, and every time you walk around, they notice the attention, and they're like, "Oh my God!"
Why you gotta come for us growers, Fatty?
Right? And
why you gotta come for us growers?
You should wear that. That brings you a lot of attention.
I'm not worried. If it's my man, I'm not worried. He can wear whatever he wants.
No, my wife has asked me. I'm Black and Samoan. My wife has asked me if I could put some underwear on before because So, and I totally agree. No, and I totally agree with her. I didn't notice. I was wearing sweatpants. I started walking out. She said, "Hey, whoa, well, you should probably put some underwear on." I looked down. I said, "You're absolutely right." Now, was she controlling, or would I absolutely embarrass her if I went to my niece's freaking first birthday party? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like,
but it's just common sense. Like, we wouldn't do that.
That's not true. That's not true.
A lot of
I think, and I can only speak for myself, but I hope every other woman on this panel can agree. It's common sense.
Well, there's beautiful, awesome, like educated women on this panel. We're not talking about you guys, obviously. We're talking about people who don't give a shit.
It's a very broad question. So I mean, we have to consider all options, and that's what we're doing.
That is true. That is true.
It's a very broad concept, and we have to consider number one, the women's experience. Like, I know you guys don't want to believe it, but we do have our own experiences. We do have, unfortunately, negative experiences.
We believe you.
No matter what you guys say, like 100%, that's the lives that we live. I could wear a fucking shark jumpsuit, and I would still get hit on.
Can all the guys say simultaneously? We believe you. This was not the argument. We understand that women
No, it
get
is the argument. You have to consider all arguments. We can't just sit here and act like that's not a part of the argument. Just because you say that's not what we're talking about, that's what the fuck I'm talking about.
But we believe you. No, you missed the whole. We believe you.
What's important is effort. If you show effort and you still get eaten on, we are not going to blame you.
Gabby, what if all the guys
the effort, and then when you get the attention, he says, "Oh my God, I can't do nothing about it." It's not fair. It's not actually healthy. Like, you actually going to put your relationship in jeopardy because you're testing your boundaries on and on and on and on again. To the point
with the man
where
that I'm gonna be with, I'm not gonna be putting nothing in jeopardy.
Yeah. Okay. What's up, big dog?
I believe you. I believe you, Gabby. I think that you're gonna. I think you love your man.
Hey, shout out to
Wade. So Gabby, what if all the guys were like, hey, and we all were wearing.
I'm sorry, I don't know who's talking right now.
This is Devils.
Okay, sorry.
What if all the guys wore gray sweatpants, or what if Black would have wore gray sweatpants to his niece's birthday party, and when his wife stopped him, he'd have been like, "It doesn't matter. I get the same amount of attention no matter what I wear."
Like I said, it's common sense. It's common sense. Why would you go to a children's birthday party? Why would you go to a children's birthday party in gray sweatpants and no underwear? That's common sense. That's disgusting.
Why would my uncle's
disgusting?
Sister come in with no bra?
And vice versa. Why would I go to a children's birthday party in a see-through one piece? It's
that's not the same. No, that's not the same as gray sweatpants.
She's not good at analogy.
Hey, Devil, do you saw what she did? A gray sweatpants cover your legs from your ankles to your waist.
It's common sense. I know that you may not be so blessed, but there are men who are.
Look at that. We just got a little taste of what a relationship with Gabby would be like. It came straight into manhood when she was upset.
It's fine.
She's digging.
Let me get this.
I mean, it would only hurt your manhood if you're insecure, but.
Yeah, we could talk about.
No. My manhood's pretty well established. And
we just hit her with a good analogy, and she tried to get all literal with it. But everybody on the screen knew exactly what I was saying. You look dumb. You look dumb as men. If we were to die on that hill, it doesn't matter what we wear. The same amount of attention. It's exactly what you're saying earlier.
Why would you be going to a children's birthday party showing your dick? That's like disgusting. That's like pedophile.
No, we are not.
I didn't know. It's my body. I can't change that.
My body, my choice. My body, my choice. I have the choice to wear whatever I want.
I definitely put some underwear on, guys.
It's common sense.
You see how you'll never win? We just circle back to my message earlier. Do you want to try and force something with a girl that's going to die on the hill of I want to be able to wear what I want, and it's not going to have any effect on the attention I get? No.
Are you saying, Devil, that you don't trust your woman enough to make the right decisions in what she wears?
Hell no! No, I'm just kidding.
No. I'm saying that women need to be humble.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if y'all don't have the confidence in your woman to wear what she wants to wear while also being respectful, then maybe that's not the right woman for you. Then maybe you should consider other options.
Women need to be humble in the fact that they're not going to make the right judgment call every time.
Instead of just dealing with the bullshit,
my point stands.
Instead of dealing with her bullshit, maybe consider other women.
I was making a great point. She doesn't like the point, and she has to talk over me. All I was saying is that women need to be humble in the fact that they're not always going to make the best judgment call. They're friends.
Why would you be with a woman who's not going to make the best judgment?
Their men might catch something,
guys.
And that's all I'm saying.
All right, Gabby.
Let Let me move. Let me move the. We have a new guest that jumped on. Big Dog Barking. Thank you so
What's
much.
up, Black?
Appreciate it.
Can y'all hear
Live-
me?
let me just give a shout out to everybody in the live chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate the panel, the back and forth. Hey, we can agree to disagree. That's okay. But like
This
I said,
was beautiful.
let's be respectful. Let's go one by one. When we're all talking, the people who are watching, they can't hear us. Okay, for the sake of the quality of the show. But nevertheless, I don't mind the back and forth. All right, it makes great content. Nevertheless, but thank you so much, everybody in the live chat. Appreciate you guys. Keep that live chat popping. Let me know what you guys think. We're talking about should a man be able to control his woman's life. Let me pass to Big Dog Barking. Thank you for making the time to jump on as a public guest. What are your thoughts on the conversation? Anything you want to add on? Go ahead, Big Dog.
Can y'all hear me?
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Woof, woof.
Okay. Well, I just caught it, man. You know what I'm saying? I saw my boy Fat up here talking, so I had to try to jump in and see what's going on. So I'm trying to catch on. I'm reading the title. How much control do y'all really want over a woman? That's what I want to know.
Oh, you want to ask us? I'm down to answer.
I'm asking because
do you want me to
I
answer?
want to know how much control do you really want?
For me, it's like okay. I'm gonna say I want about 80% of control of the relationship and the household. But when it comes down to her, I believe that if I have 80% of the control of the household and children, everything like that, then that's fine with me. Like if she doesn't run with the program, she's out. Like that's just this is that happen. But the differences between me and you is I had the respect enough to talk to them, place boundaries, and be able to say them before I just like leave.
So
I'm obviously speaking.
Gabby, yeah, we gotta let them go. We'll come back to you. Okay, go ahead, Big Dog.
I said
so.
No names.
So that also include what your woman put on.
Yes.
Is that what y'all saying?
Yes, but I mean that's like not an everyday thing. Like I don't understand. This is not something that happens like every day. This is something that might happen once a year, once every 6 years, once every. You know what I mean? Like I truly believe in where are they going to have that opportunity to wear something that is that's too revealing. And the places that we've already talked about, family parties, stuff like that, where you go to like if you go into an office party, stuff like that, there's no room to dress like that. So the only times that you have the opportunity to dress like that is when you're going out by yourself or with your girls. Okay? Because I mean, unless you go with your man too, then that's something totally different. But majority of the time, then when husband and wife are going to go out, they're going to go out doing a couple things in situations that they have to go to that represents the man or even represents the woman. Let's say she's doing the corporate thing and she's the one making a bunch of money. You don't see her wearing tiger stripes. You don't see her wearing freaking leopard spots. You don't see her bending over and showing her ass crack. That's not happening. Okay. And then you don't see her man wearing a freaking sweater. You know what I'm saying? He's in a 3-piece suit. She's in a gown. They respect each other. That's why this whole conversation about what women wear to me is actually pretty stupid. And the reason why is, one, if a woman wants to wear everything she wants at any time, then she should not be in a relationship because that means that she's going to disrespect him in different ways, and I'm just not about it. Now, two, if a woman says, hey, a man has input on what I wear, if she comes and asks, blah, 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 I'm all about it because that woman actually cares about how she's representing you and how she's representing herself.
So basically what you're saying is because she dressed a certain type of way, that's disrespect, right?
I think it could be disrespect depending on what she's wearing and where it is at.
So she could be disrespectful if she put on regular clothes.
No. Well, how would that be disrespectful?
Because you're basing off the attention she get off her showing her ass and titties, right?
That's no. I'm basing it off of her decision to show off her ass and titties, not the amount of dudes that actually go after her. Now, I use the amount of dudes that go after her, and we cannot say that a person not showing their ass and titties gets more than a person is showing their ass and titties because we already have OnlyFans. We've seen people who have no money earn $10 million overnight for showing their vagina. We have not seen that for somebody Okay, that's only one person, Bella Thorne, and she lied, and she lied to her people, saying that she was going to show that. The only person who's ever made that much money showing just a bikini was Bella Thorne, and Bella Thorne lied and had to pay back all of that stuff. So I don't understand how we're even playing like this is even the same.
I'm just gonna be on. I'm being perfectly honest, man. She can put on whatever you want her to put on. She still can be disrespectful at the drop of a dime, bro. It ain't even about her clothes.
True. I'm not saying that we're going to be with a disrespectful woman, but another way of disrespect is a way that you dress in public. I'm not saying that a way a man dresses in public is not disrespectful to his woman, because it can be. He could literally wear a shirt that says, "I'm with this bitch," and we could all look at him like, "Nigga, that's your wife, bro." You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying this is just a one-way street.
I mean, my wife, I'm happy. I've been happily married for 18 years. My wife got a T-shirt that say, "I'm married to the king of idiots," and he right here. And I just sit there and smile when every time she wear it. I just look and they be like, "That's real cool shirt, and you must be the king of the idiots." I'm like, "Yeah, I was the prince, now I'm the king, so yeah, I'm the idiot." So it's like, if that's disrespectful, then I'm just being disrespectful. But to me, I don't even give a damn, bro. I look at it like it's fun and entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So she want to put on a dress that show off her ass and titty and look like Gabby kind of thick too. You know what I'm saying? She gonna get attention regardless of whatever she put on.
Saying like that's ignorant to think that even if I wear shorts or sweats, that I'm not gonna get as much attention if I wear something fully covered up, because I get either way.
You're not. We already have the data.
I mean,
but if we just talking about disrespect, man, she could, a woman could be disrespectful regardless of what she got on. You just got to deal with that.
Let me read this super chat. Milagros just dropped a super chat, and I'll come back to the panel. I have a question I want to ask the ladies and fellas if you have some questions as well. I see Milagros dropped a super chat. Hey, thank you. All right, so Milagros said Gabby is giving food stamp energy. Okay, no worries, Milagros.
Honey, that's crazy that you even paid just to say that. That's some bum shit.
Milagros, why don't you come and hang out with us? Come on.
Thank you for the super chat. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Don't be in the crowd.
All right, hey, it's just a super chat. It's just a super chat. I'm gonna take it. It is what it is. All right, Skippy Perkin 11. Shout out to everyone on the panel and the Young Goat Team Fatty. This is a great conversation. Hey, appreciate that. Shout out to you, man.
Real, you know, like, do you not trust a woman enough to make her own decisions?
No worries, but Gabby, just hold on.
Depends on the decision.
Hold on, real quick. Hold on. But nevertheless, yeah, thank you for everybody. Just get those likes up. I appreciate everybody watching this right now. I see the live chats. You guys have been doing a great job on the live chat. Let me know what you guys think. As you guys can see, a big dog barking is joined. It is a public panel. We do have space to jump on. So we have one more spot open. So if you want to jump on, the public link is posted in the YouTube live chat. Go to the top of the screen and click on it, and you'll be able to join us as we finish on this last hour of this live stream. All right.
Let me ask you something.
I have a don't respond to the live chat, please. But nevertheless, the live chat. It is what it is. People come on here to public platform. They say whatever they say. So it is what it is. Leave it be. But let's. I want to ask the ladies real quick. I have a question. I want to ask the ladies. Ladies, obviously you guys all described the dream man you guys want. Both of you guys said that you guys want to provide a protector. You guys want that builds absolute trust. The man that can absolutely make you guys feel safe. And I know a lot of you guys added more things. I want to ask you, ladies, if you guys find that type of man and he's showing you the consistencies, the qualities, the high standards, everything that you guys look for in a man. Because I had this conversation with another woman. I want to ask you guys. She said that when she's with her husband is an example of the type of man that she wanted. And she said that when she's with this husband and your husband's actually giving you the attention that you want from a man, she said that most women, when women find the right man in her life, you don't want the other attention of other men. All right, so I think for a lot of times that's what I hear from a lot of women is once they find the man they really want, the good man, the man that they prefer, they don't want to look for the attention of men. They don't want the attention, even though they'll still get attention from men, but you don't want it anymore. So I want to ask you that question. Is that true? Is it true that for you guys, if you find the right man that's giving you the attention, exemplifying the qualities that you guys look for, he's taking control and accountability and responsibility of all the things that you want in the relationship, and you guys are building a great relationship. Do you want as a woman? Do you still want the attention of other men? Do you still seek the attention of other men? And if that's not what you want, will you adjust accordingly to make sure that even though you're still pretty, you're still going to get attention from other men? That you don't want the attention of men because you find the man that's giving you all the attention. Because I think from a lot of the men's perspective I think that's one of the risks is if I'm that man and I'm meeting all the things that you asked me to do, and then I'm building a relationship with you, and you're still looking for the other attention for other men based on how you dress, that shows me that you're still looking, that you're halfway in, halfway out. Because usually if you're with a woman, you guys are on the same page, you guys are building a great relationship, and you're bringing to the table what the man wants, and he's bringing what you want, then you guys are both in love and building something meaningful, then you wouldn't be looking, or you wouldn't be doing things to garner extra attention. But I just want to ask you, ladies, that if you find that man, do you want to seek the attention of other men, and if you don't want that attention from other men, are you able to make adjustments to make sure that you're gonna get minimal attention as possible because you already found the main attention that you want from the man that you chose and the man that's proven himself to be the man that you want him to be? I'll start with you, Tara. What do you think about that statement?
Okay, well, there's like two aspects to this. I'll start with the first one, is that I'll get into the masculine and the feminine. Women who are feminine at their core long to be deeply penetrated by the masculine. And I got Black Zero's attention. And I'm not just talking about where your mind went right now, but I'm talking about be deeply penetrated. Most women, and we've established this, and we could get into all the details about how women get the attention and whatever, which I disagree with some of the points that have been made, but that's a whole other subject. Most women in the course of their day get tons and tons of superficial attention from men. And a lot of women can get by on just that superficial attention because they get so much of it. And, that's one of the reasons why I think women tend to get addicted to posting things and going to the OnlyFans and things like that. It becomes this addiction to getting superficial attention because she's not getting that deep penetration that she wants. And I'm not just talking about a sexual thing, but actually the depths of true attention from a man. And I think when a man shows up in masculine presence and he truly is penetrating her, and I'm not just talking sexually, but I mean he can penetrate her with his gaze, with his strength. He can literally be that present for her. He can pay attention to her. He is focused. He is direct, and actually touches that part of her that all those men out there giving her that superficial attention, they can't get there. They can't get to that depth, and they don't really want to because they're just coming at her with that surface stuff. If a man can give a woman that level of presence and penetration, she's not going to care about all the rest of that stuff. She's probably going to find a lot of it a nuisance because it's not going to satisfy her anymore. It's like if you, I don't know, if you keep eating, I don't know, beef jerky or some kind of cheap meats or something, and then you go and you get a juicy steak. It's once you've had that good juicy steak, you don't care about all those other whatever cold cuts or whatever, those kind of things, because you've had the steak, you know what I mean? So you don't need to go somewhere else because all that superficial attention from everybody else is just going to feel cheap. It's not going to feel deep. So that's the first aspect. The second aspect is, and I know we talked about the OnlyFans thing and all that, women getting all this attention on social media. And there's a factor that we have to put into this, is that we've been talking a lot about what women wear, and women wearing skimpy outfits or whatever, or bikinis in the supermarket or bikinis at children's parties. I don't know, whatever we're talking about. We're talking a lot about that stuff, but we don't talk about the concept of, is her man disrespecting her by checking out other women that are also dressed in those skimpy outfits?
Yes,
or checking out the OnlyFans girls or things like. Well, okay. So
no need to debate it. We give it to you. Yes, he is.
Okay.
We all are. We liking them. We're watching them. Yeah.
But think about it this way, though. Think about it this way. if the woman that you're with, the woman, your chosen partner, the woman who loves you, who is committed to you, if she looks at you and she sees that your eyes are on some woman that's half naked, she's going to be like, oh, that's what I need to do to get his attention. Because as a woman, you want to be every woman. I know you guys are all going to say, oh, we all look at other women. Every single woman wants to be the only woman that their man ever looks at. I know that's never going to happen, and you guys are going to be ridiculous. That's what every woman wants. Every woman wants to know that your eyes will never go to another woman again.
Sarah, can I
I know you're all going to say it's not going to happen.
Can I please push back on this?
That is our lot in life. That is our lot in life, to deal with the fact that reality may never happen. But if as a woman, you're seeing your man checking out other women, looking at OnlyFans girls, doing all that kind of stuff, as a woman, you're going to be like, well, if that's what he's attracted to.
So Sarah, why should we feed a delusion? If a woman came to me, if somebody says, I want my woman, one second, I got you. If I said I want my woman to only look at me, every man on the panel should say, Svetty, stop being fucking delusional, bro. She's going to go look at people. It's fine. Don't be actually paranoid about it. So if men do it, then we are realistic. Why should we feed a woman delusion to the point where she thinks my husband will always look at me? Like, that's delusion.
You as a man are going to check out other women that are dressed half naked. You have no business telling your woman you cannot walk around dressed half naked.
So other men don't check her out like that. See what we see.
Yeah, but you're doing that. Why? That's just as disrespectful.
Sarah, do you?
Just as disrespectful as her walking around half naked. That's like complete hypocrisy.
How do you feel about Thor? How do you feel about Thor? How do you feel about Thor? Yeah, you don't care about Thor? Who's your Hollywood crush? What does he look like? None? Really?
Hey, Sarah.
Okay.
Women are not checking out men like that. We're not.
You're literally talking to a guy with 5 baby mamas and 5 children. And do you know what was easiest? Do you think it was number 1, number 2? You know what got it easier? It was number 3, number 4, and number 5. You know why? Because other women saw that I was good with children, saw that I was desired by other women, and they attacked me. Like, you guys think that I'm just talking shit or like that. You guys might not think I'm that handsome or whatever, but I'm a good guy. I'm over 6 foot tall. I'm in good shape. I work out, and I have children, and I've been married before with other women who don't talk shit about me. Do you realize that to other women, that's a catch? That's a catch. Like, it is weird to me, but it's a catch. It's so weird. You know how many women try to take me from my wife on a daily basis? It's insane. So the fact that you're telling me, oh, women don't like to check out men or women don't, no, you guys are all in competition with each other. You guys are all in competition with each other.
You guys talk about exceptions, though, and talk about the exceptions. Women throwing themselves at men is not necessarily the general rule.
Look it up. Women find men who have already been taken and who have already been vetted more attractive than other men.
If that's the case, okay, so if that's the case, so we're talking men and women are like equally lecherous towards each other, then a man in a relationship checking out other women in his relationship is letting that other woman know, like if he's liking her pictures or he's even looking at her, whatever, he's letting that woman know that he's potentially available.
You mean the woman with a million options?
It's the same thing as a woman wearing a skimpy outfit and telling other men that she's available. It's the same thing.
Absolutely not. It's because if you have options. No, look at. If I don't have options, literally, if I'm like liking every single women's paper, but and I'm ugly, and I get no play, no pussy, no nothing. But yet my old lady she doesn't even have to be attractive. Doesn't even have to be. She's gonna get boom. Instant, especially if she does things like put a bikini pic on, boom, instant. She puts a naked pic on, and you know what? The whole world gets set on fire. She gets almost $1 to $10 million, depending. We'll call it $500,000. Most people make 6 figures in a month. 6 figures in a month.
I think you're overestimating the success of women on OnlyFans. If they actually look at the numbers, most women are not making that kind of money.
Yeah,
there's a percentage of women that are making that kind of money.
Okay, you know what? I'll give you
most
that.
Most women on OnlyFans are putting pornographic images online that are going to live with them for the rest of their lives and not making enough money to survive. So that's a big stretch.
Okay, but let's not talk about the OnlyFans. Let's talk about the difference in likes when it comes down to Instagram. When it comes down to a pic that shows an asshole, or sorry, shows an ass, a pic that shows boobs, a pic that shows feet, a pic that just shows a body who's just walking down with a freaking briefcase. Which one do you think is going to get the most likes? Which one do you think is going to get the most offers?
Of course, it's going to get the most likes, but I'm saying a woman doing that is
DMs,
disrespecting her man as much as if a woman's man is liking another woman's photo like that, it's just as disrespectful.
We already conceded to that. That's the point.
already,
You are fighting the point that nobody made.
Yeah, nobody said that it's not disrespectful. We're saying we do it.
Black Zero, 1 second.
Sarah, I know, but I'm saying that you can't tell a woman she can't be disrespectful to you if you're going to be disrespectful to her. Is what I'm saying.
Sarah, this is the problem about relationships in 2022, right? Men are so quick to concede and say, yeah, that's unfair. I'm not going to do that. But you guys fight it, then fight it, then fight it, then fight it. For what? We already conceded. Is this respectful?
You guys just said
okay. And so let me ask: any man on this panel thinks that if they are in a relationship with a woman, they should be around walking on Instagram liking woman on skimpy clothes, like bikini clothes? Now, anybody agrees with that? That is disrespectful.
Yeah, it's disrespectful.
What about you, Will?
Yeah, it is.
What about you, Paulo?
I'm not on social media like that. But
yeah, but if you were,
yeah, I agree to the fact that as a married man or as a man who's in a relationship, you operate and move as a man and such.
As a married on a relationship.
Yeah.
What about you,
Big Dog? As a bachelor.
But didn't you say that you guys all
one second. What about you, Big Dog? Do you think it's disrespectful for you to actually move like that and be liking random woman pictures of bikinis and all that? Do you think it's disrespectful to your relationship?
My wife don't say shit, so I do it all the time. She don't say
okay,
shit.
So 1 second. Sarah, do you see? What about you, Devil?
Yeah, I think so. If you guys are monogamous and you guys are...
What about you, Black Zero?
My wife lets me bang other chicks, so this this is different for me.
Okay, so you are on a relationship.
Yeah, it's a different relationship.
So Sarah, four men on the panel said that's respectful. One is on an open relationship, so he doesn't have no boundaries. No, 1 second. And Big Dog said my wife.
No, what I said was
Sarah,
I did say it was this. I did say it was disrespectful because I was talking about the modern man.
But Sarah, do you see what I'm talking about?
Like you were talking about this shit's crazy.
But I conceded because I understand women, and I understand that most women would find that disrespectful. So I wasn't trying to move my own aspect.
But Sarah, do you see like a majority of men will clearly give away that, and they are not going to fuss. They are not going to play dumb. They're going to say, yeah, I don't want to do that. That's kind of disrespectful. I don't want to put insecurities on her. I don't want to actually make her anxious. This is actually men on a majority of times conceding. But every time you ask a woman one thing, is disingenuous arguments. It needs to be a back and forth. I need to explain you why you shouldn't have to wear that dress. I have to explain you, at night we shouldn't go on dark alley because there's why do you guys fight so much? Points that we already conceded, but when it's the other way around, you always have to fight. You always have to debate. You always have to try to wrestle the power from the man and says no because of what? Why does this happen?
Well, I would argue though that the reality is that men can say yeah, I'll concede, and maybe you guys are all being honest. Or I know Black Zero is an exception, but whatever. Maybe you guys are being honest. I'm not saying you're not, but at the end of the day, I think as women, we all know. We've either been in this experience or we know tons and tons of women who have the experience of a man being like, I won't like pictures on social media. I won't subscribe to OnlyFans. And the next thing you know, you're like, ooh, I found a second phone. What is he doing? I think men are quick to say,
you are doing it again, Sarah.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that to end the argument, whereas women are quicker to get defensive. I agree with men are quick to get defensive about that, for sure.
You don't like
no, Sarah, you did it again. Did you guys see this?
You're calling us disingenuous, but
no, Sarah, no, Sarah.
You're the only one who wants to not like.
Sarah, can you stop there for a second, Sarah?
Wait.
Men on the panel assume the best on woman. We literally.
No, I think I figured it out.
You're assuming that.
I figured it out.
I just need 3 seconds, Paulo, and I'll pass the microphone. We are having good faith conversations, and we are assuming the best on woman. But every time we ask, why do you guys fight so much? You go to the worst man on the fucking back of the line. That man cheated on his wife and has a second phone on his closet. Why do you do that?
It's way more common than you'd think.
But he's
way
still a
more common than you'd
minority. It's not the.
It's not though.
Oh
It's
my
not,
God.
not in today's world.
Okay, so
okay, if you
hey,
think that all these
everybody has
women
a
on
second phone in their
OnlyFans are
closet.
making
You got
millions
to
and
follow.
millions of dollars,
You got it.
are they only making millions and millions of dollars off of men that are single and not in monogamous relationships? That's the only thing they're making the money on.
Before I pass it to Paulo Fessa, let me read this super chat real quick. All right. Shout out to TL for tonight. He's been balling on the super chat tonight. Thank you so much for your support, man. I really appreciate that. He said women are addicted to attention validation. Since women are heavily emotional, accountability leads to remorse. It's like a junkie withdrawing for her. So they use victimhood to avoid the withdrawal validation high with no remorse. All right, appreciate that. Thank you so much. To you, TL, thank you so much for super chats. And everybody out there, thank you so much. You want to donate to the channel, support the channel. Every donation goes back to the podcast to give you guys the best quality content. Definitely drop a super chat. If you have a topic or question you want to ask it through the super chat. Paulo Fessa, you wanted to add on? Go ahead, Paulo Fessa.
You ladies need therapy. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm being facetious. But really, why is it that when we describe the ideal man and we start talking about the ideal man, we keep using bad example of bad men to try and justify why you would act a certain way to this quote unquote ideal man? It doesn't make sense.
Because why do you guys swear that you're the ideal man?
No, hold on. Never claimed it. Hold on. Never claimed that I'm the ideal man. However, every description you've made is that this man has to be disciplined, self-regulating, all these wonderful qualities that I agree with, that makes a good and a great man. However, when we ask the question of if this is the man that you want, and if these are the boundaries and the limitations of what he's going to demand out of the relationship, oh no, we're not going to do that because the bad man has done X, Y, and Z, so therefore we're not going to do it to this particular man that we describe. That is crazy. You're using your trauma from past experience onto a man that you want, that you define as the great or good man. You need therapy, I'm telling you.
We're literally sitting here and telling you guys that you aren't the perfect man, and you're still thinking that we need therapy because we're not submitting to your ideology.
Oh,
I'm not asking you to submit at all.
Like I said before, so I want you on a burqa because I was cheated before and all. Most women cheat. I'm not saying that it's you. I'm saying that like we don't do that.
That I want. That's the
No, but we don't do that to you. We don't actually say, okay, I was cheated before, so now you're not going to leave my house because I'm not saying that is you, but I'm just saying.
Well, actually, that does happen like a lot.
Oh, you so please.
Wait.
By women
Katie,
too. It
hold on.
happens. People are toxic.
It happens a lot. It happens.
But the reality is none of us are perfect. We're all human.
No,
so
the reality is you have a type. The reality is you have a type, and you're only exposed to this particular type. If all you see are bad men who have extra phones, who hide in the closet, then you have a type. It's not men who are bad. You have a particular type. So that's why you need therapy.
Well, I have not experienced that personally, but I know a lot of women who have. So I mean, I'm not.
Then they
I'm
have
not,
a type.
So you have shitty friends.
I'm literally like it's all over social media. Like try to find a woman that has not had that experience. And I only have that experience because I was married before, and so I wasn't in the dating world. But like in reality,
so that's an issue with the women. They're picking bad men and they're using that as an example to qualify all men. Just like how women hate it when we use ideas of feminism.
Going to be checking out other women. All the guys were like, yeah, of course we are. But now you're like, well, we wouldn't if she didn't want us to. But you were acting as if you were going, like, as if that's part of men.
You win there so
you guys
quickly.
going to be checking out other women in skimpy outfits.
No, you asked if it. No, you said if it was this.
Okay, so again,
I'm truthful. I'm truthful.
You're using Black Zero to qualify everyone on this panel as men. No one said that other than Black
I
Zero.
asked about men, and both of you were like, yeah, that's what
No,
men do.
I was the only
I
one.
did
I
not
said
answer
for
that question
me.
neither.
I said me. I was the
So
only one.
So are we actually gonna pretend like if as a woman, if she's like, okay, I think it's disrespectful if you check out other women while you're out with me,
Yes.
Are all you men going to be like, yeah, we're not going to look at another woman ever again?
I mean, okay, hold on.
We literally told you that's disrespectful. We told you that. Why you fighting?
But that's actually going to happen.
But Sarah, 4 men, like 4 in 5, Black Zero as an open relationship, it doesn't count.
We don't consider you
So-
women to control us. Like it was like a completely foreign
We don't
concept.
consider you women
Now
to
you're
talk
like,
about,
oh
baby.
well, we wouldn't do that if we was,
Hey, let's
you
go
know,
one by
like
one.
you're changing your
Guys,
story.
guys.
changing
Y'all
my
are not
story.
ready for the relationship you want, because if all we're doing is comparing our disparities,
shut the fuck
oh,
up.
if I'm gonna do X, Y, and
Go one
if
by
I'm
one,
gonna
one
do
by
X, Y, then you're gonna do X, Y. You're not ready for commitment, because a lot of these things are compromises that we make, and it's conversations
We're
that
only ready for
says, here,
commitment when
here
the
are
man
my
is right."
boundaries. Here are my limitations. Do we have a conversation? Can we communicate those? Where is the intimacy lies? Okay, if all we're doing is comparing, oh, I'm going to do this because I know you as a man, because of all these other men that I know of, you're just going to do it. So therefore, I'm not going to do what you want me to do. Then you're not ready for whatever it is the relationship you discuss. Because we go into relationship with risking a lot of these things that we know of, but actually trying to mitigate it by having these conversations and communicating. Just because I fear men watching other women and giving them attention does not mean that I'm going to treat you as such. I want to have a conversation with you, like we're having in this panel. Are you going to check out other women? Yes. Okay. We might not be quote unquote compatible for each other. Great. Live your life. I live mine. But when we use these as talking points, oh, you men are just going to do this because you're disrespectful. So why should we do this? It's very disingenuous. And I'm being facetious about the therapy. So if that's had a nerve, that's had a nerve. But I was being facetious about it.
It should
No,
not take therapy.
it's not a nerve. I just, when I brought it up, and the fact that the reaction from some of the people on the panel was like, yeah, of course they're going to. But then the conversation changes to, oh, well, we're not going to. Like, to me, that feels disingenuous for them to say,
Again,
oh, well, of course we're going to do
that's-
that. But then it's like, oh,
Again,
well, no, we're not going to do that. Like that. And I'm
Sarah,
not saying
that-
everybody said that, but I'm just pointing out that there's a conflict there. Like there's a difference.
So,
there. And I
Sarah-
agree with what
Correct,
you're
Sarah.
saying.
So
we should
that's
lie
my
to
earlier
woman.
point. No.
We
That's
should
my
lie to
earlier
women,
point.
absolutely. We should lie to women. They don't accept reality. You literally say, yeah, I will check other women on the streets. I'm not going to actually put likes on every baddie that I see on IG. No, you're being disingenuous. That's not the average man. Most men don't do that because they know for a fact if my wife catch me putting a like on a baddie, I'm going to have a trouble as soon as I get home. And men avoid trouble with their wives because they know they don't want to actually get those type of troubles. Men do that all the time, Sarah. What the hell are you talking about? And again, big dog, I know you are special. Your wife lets you do that. But we're talking about most men. Most men will literally see a big booty bitch, woman, and they will look at the ground in fear that their woman catch them looking at that woman ass. They are not going. I literally had the more than one actually that I literally checked the woman like my girlfriend was with me. She pouted and she left or got upset about it. Every man understands the game. So why do we tell you the truth and says I'm not going to put my relationship in jeopardy for a like? And you say, that's very disingenuous. Accept it. Don't fight it. It's fine. Accept that shit and move along. Why are you trying to fight us?
Well, but if so many men are saying, well, I'll put blinders on, then what is the problem with women dressing however they, and granted, I'm not trying to make the argument that women should dress however they want, but I'm just saying, it's kind of two sides to the same coin. It's like if women are dressing a certain way for attention and men are giving women attention, there's two sides to that. There's the men that give the attention and there's the women that dress a certain way supposedly to get the attention. And you can't just address one and not address the other.
No, that's a fallacy. Fatty, hold on. No, that's a fallacy, Sarah, because it's not two sides. It's the side you're in. If the outcome you want as a woman is a good husband, good man, then act accordingly. As a man, if the outcome that you want is a family and a woman who is feminine, act accordingly. It's not two sides of the same coin where we're making the same argument. No, what side are you on and what is your outcome? Act accordingly. I'm not going to make a talking point about men being disrespectful and liking other pictures because women dress as such. No, I'm on the side of the men with the desired outcome of building a strong family, long term and healthy. So I'm going to argue on that basis and say, no, Don't be disrespectful in terms of who you represent and what you represent. Don't like other pictures. If you see a woman, you can acknowledge that she's attractive, but don't check her out as if you don't have a wife at home or a wife walking beside you. These are the arguments that we'll make, but to say two sides to the same coin, whatever, because we're doing X, Y, and Z, that's very disingenuous, and that's a fallacy to make, because all we're doing is, well, I'm going to do this because you do that. No, what is the outcome that we want? Let's keep on that topic, and let's speak on that.
But you guys aren't talking about the stuff that we have to actually live through every single day. Like, you're talking in a broad statement, like, oh, most men do this, most men. You have no
Because
idea
we're
what
men.
we go through. You have
I'm not going to talk for you as a woman because I don't have any idea. You're absolutely right. So I'm going to speak from the men's side. The less a man has to undress you, the more you become an object. That is the reality of men.
Undress me if he fully trusts me.
No. Hold on. The less a man, any man, the less a man has to undress you in his mind, the more you become an object. That's a reality with most men.
All right, let me just read some super chats real quick. All right, so see, Milagros just posted another super chat. Shout out to you, Milagros. All right, she said, "I'd love to join, but I'm busy being married and pregnant in the kitchen, submitting to a strong man who can tell me what to do whenever he wants. I win." All right, no worries.
Good
Milagros.
job.
Good
That's
job.
what
Shout
you
out to you,
want.
Milagros.
I'm so happy for you.
So you ask a man and you're winning and you're pregnant. You got a family going. Shout out to you. I'm him.
She's winning and she's pregnant, but she's talking shit about people's weight. How is that winning?
And you said, "Fatty, shut the fuck up," when I didn't disrespect you. You showing that you have a big ass doesn't make your arguments better.
Who said I have a big ass? Why are you looking at my ass, you fucking creep?
Guys, I'm reading the super chats. So hey, like I said, the super chats.
I apologize, Will.
I'm looking.
It is what it is. It's just people here to come here to post the super chats. It's not our chance to respond to it. All right, it's just people here can do whatever. They can post whatever they say on the live chat. If you can't tell your wife what not to wear, are you a man? All right, shout out to you. It's him, 199. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And I see two more super chats real quick. Give me 1 second. And oh, there we go. All right, skipping perking 11. Just because your partner does something disrespectful doesn't give you the right to do the same. LOL. It doesn't matter who did it first. Thank you so much. Shout out to you. Appreciate it. And then you just posted another one. Skip perking in a relationship. If your partner, that's the same one. All right, cool. All right, I think you posted it twice. But shout out to you. Going hard tonight on the super chats. Appreciate you guys. Every donation goes back to the pod. I want to get a chance to speak to those who was kind of being silent the last probably 20, 30 minutes. I want to pass it to Devil. Hey, Devil, I know you haven't said anything the last couple minutes. I want to give you a chance to speak. Go ahead, Devil.
Man, I don't even know who to respond to because there were so many good points made, but I think that the underlying point of the conversation is that because I saw a comment earlier, it was would you rather have modern men today or men of the 50s? I thought it was a good question because culture has shifted what's expected, what's allowed, but what women innately want, if they're in their feminine energy, and what men innately want are the same. But I think culture has allowed what is accepted as behavior from women to shift so far away. That's why we're getting all this friction between Gabby and some of Sarah's points and a lot of the other guests. So I don't really see a solution to it. I see the problem, and that's exactly why I was saying things like I think all the guys on the panels think pretty similarly. So I try not to chime in unless I see things getting circular. Like earlier when I said men are lovers pretending to be pragmatists, women are pragmatists pretending to be lovers. We're getting in this circle where the women were trying to convince us that they should be able to wear whatever they want because it just has no effect on the amount of attention they get. She was being a pragmatist, trying to cast her net as wide as possible and garner as much attention from men as they want or as they can while still maintaining innocence. And
I didn't want us to get caught up in a circular argument because we already know the data behind that. So that's why I said that quote. And I see that is a result of culture shifting so far. Men still want the same thing. I get asked, so what do you want in a long-term relationship? I say the same 4 things every time. It's beauty, integrity, loyalty, and intelligence. And this is integrity. It's what you do. It has to do with moral upstanding, and the definition of what's moral has shifted so far that's what we're seeing right now. Is I should be able to do this, you shouldn't be able to do that. That's why, like, we held up a mirror to what the women were saying. We said, well, can we wear gray sweatpants out? And it was common sense. Hell no. But when women wear things that reveal the shape of their sexual organs underlying from their clothing, like, they know it's going to garner attention from men. So I'm just trying to avoid the argument to get too circular. And Black, you gave some great examples, and you saw exactly what I saw. I don't think we're going to really come to terms on things. I just think men should come away with this as like, avoid this conflict altogether and adjust accordingly. You know, don't try and change the way women behave. If their culture allows them to behave that way and they insist they should behave that way, don't waste your time, you know?
Yeah, Devil, thank you for bringing that up. I totally forgot about that question that's super chatted by him.
Great question.
I'm gonna bring that question up to the ladies. Definitely because of his support in super chat. I'll start with you, Maria. Maria, that was a question that was brought on the super chat. Do you prefer the men in the 50s of how they acted and their values and principles that they live by, or do you prefer the men today, 2023?
The 50s and like the chivalry and all that, but well, yeah, the 50s, I would say.
Okay, so the men in the 50s. Okay, let me pass it to you, Gabby. Gabby, that was a question from the super chat. Do you prefer the men in the 50s or do you prefer the men in 2023?
I mean, can I just say that I don't prefer either? Like, I just want the man that's made for me. Why does it have to be so general?
Okay, so that's your answer, right? It's neither. You just prefer the man that's meant for you. Okay. All right. No worries, Gabby. Thank you for that answer. Let me pass it to you, Sarah. Do you prefer the man in the 50s or the man in 2023?
Well, you know I'm incapable of giving you just a straight answer to anything. But I mean, I think that there's aspects to both situations that can potentially be appealing. And I think that there's something to, I mean, I've been guilty of it too. It's really easy to kind of idealize the traditions of sort of like America in the 50s because there's a lot of aspects to it that were really beautiful. But I think we put that up on too much of a pedestal. Like there was a reason why we're not still there. And I think if we ignore all the reasons why we're not still there, we just run the risk of just letting history repeat itself. And we're just going to end up continuing back in the same situation. So like, do I think that there's a lot of aspects to men in the 50s that are appealing? Like I was just thinking about this today because I've had to have a lot of repair people come to my house. And a lot of them are like younger guys who are just being trained. And like literally most of them, the young guys, like they jump if they see a spider. And I'm just like, what? Like, what is the deal? Like, I'm like, my grandfather literally built the house and all the furniture that my grandparents lived in. Like, and it's just like, there's these guys who are like, oh my God, a spider. And I'm like, what? Like, how is this? So I think that like, we've definitely seen like a weakening of men and there's like a whole long list of reasons.
So people weren't afraid of spiders 100 years ago?
Well, I mean, I don't think that you saw men generally like in history.
That's your instinct saying it's danger. Run away, it's dangerous. What the hell are you talking about?
To a spider? Like how?
1,000 years ago, men would see spiders and say, "That's great."
Now we know Fatty's scared of spiders.
I'm saying like I mean, in a lot of aspects, like we have been weakening men over time. Like that's it's happening. There's a ton of reasons why that's happening, and everyone wants to blame feminism, but there's a lot of things that we can go through the list, and it's probably way more than we need to get into. But I think men are getting weaker. But there's and I don't want to take up too much of the time with this, but like if any of you are familiar with the work of David Data, he has a lot about this where he talks about in a lot of his books, where he talks about kind of like the 3 stages of masculine and feminine, essentially, and that the 50s he always uses as a representation of the very superficial, right? You have the very superficial surface idea of the man makes the money, like the woman takes care of the children, and like there's this very like superficial relationships. Everybody had their traditional roles, but they were somewhat limiting because it was like men had to do this and women had to do that. When you get into the second stage, it's like women start taking on some of the masculine roles, so they start to have more inner power. They start to take on more masculine type roles, and men tend to take on a little bit more feminine roles, and they learn to be a little bit more sensitive and learn to get in touch with their sensitive side. And we're kind of in that phase right now where women are becoming more masculine and men are becoming more feminine. And in reality, it kind of is making people generally like a little bit more whole. So women aren't necessarily as considered as weak in society, and men aren't necessarily always having to be the tough ones. And it's not ideal because we're losing a lot of the sexual polarity in the relationship that comes with the masculine and the feminine. But it's also not a terrible thing either, because when you have that superficial, limited roles, I mean, that can lead to a lot of abuse. It can lead to a lot of people feeling really suffocated. And ideally, if we started to evolve more, so we actually learned to connect to our natural core energy. So as a woman, it's like, well, if you're naturally feminine at your core, you know you have your masculine energy that you can count on within yourself. So like you can be more open to trusting a man and his masculine because you know you got yourself. So like if for some reason because I know we talk about the perfect man, but there is no perfect anybody. Like we're all human, right? I know Black Zero's shocked. I know, but we're all human. So like if a woman knows like, hey, you know what? I'm going to put my trust in this man, but I know I have myself. I know I have myself.
Do you still remember the question?
But I'm also saying, I know, Fatty's getting bored with me. But you have men who are like, I can be in my masculine. I can be a masculine man, but I also can have empathy. I can have caring. I can have compassion and things like that. And we actually evolved to that phase of society. Again, look into the works of David Data. He explains it way more eloquently than I do. But all I'm saying is, I mean, Will knows at this point that I can't give a simple answer to any.
You didn't answer the question.
I did.
Answer the question.
I did. I'm saying that there are aspects too. Like, I think that there's a good thing that I think there are things that men are stepping into in the modern day that I think are beneficial.
Man of the 50s or man of today? Go.
But that
Wait,
said,
go.
I think that we've lost a lot of
I've got a question after this.
men.
So
what I'm saying is that I think, we get into this black and white. Again, this is
Sarah.
There is no black and white answer to this. You guys are looking for a black and white. At the end of the day, like there's aspects of both.
Gabby literally said, I can choose both. I'm sorry. 3 seconds. Okay, it's fine. Go ahead.
A quick answer.
Okay, I could choose both. I'm sorry. There we go. It's over.
There's no one answer with that one.
It's not. Look, I'll get to a point, but you got to take the scenic route to get there. That's just the way I am.
Sarah, you want a metrosexual man? That's what you saying?
No, I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying that, like,
I just like how he said it.
There's an aspect to the manliness of, say, like a more traditional man, but like you don't want someone who is cold, who doesn't know how to actually be a caring, empathetic person or a human.
So you just want a man.
So you
just want a good man.
You want a sensitive.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying like the stereotype of the 50s and the stereotype of the modern man now, like, they're not good. Like they're not they're not good. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying is that I think there's aspects you can take from both time periods from now, and there's aspects you can take from the 50s. And if we try to go back to be like, hey, let's pretend that life is the 50s again. Let's pretend feminism never happened, and let's just erase everything.
Can we please?
We know you wouldn't want that though, because like that environment was a breeding ground for feminism.
I'm black also. I don't want white feminism at all, or feminism at all. It destroyed the black community. But yeah, go ahead. I'm black and Samoan.
But I'm just saying, like, if you go back in history to a certain time, like you're like, okay, let's pretend feminism never happened and go back in time. That time period was a breeding ground for what is happening now. We'd just be reliving history if we don't go back and we don't learn from what happened in history. Like, people who don't learn history are doomed to repeat it. That's just the
Okay, let me read this. Let me read the super chat real quick. Give me 1 second. T.O. All right. Said women ran from the man of yesterday, but says men are worse now, but still preaches this radical feminist ideology, creates today's worst feminine man. All right, no worries. Thank you so much for sharing that. Appreciate you, T. Always supporting the channel. Balo Fessa, you have something to say? Go ahead, Balo. And I'll come to you, Black Zero.
There is no good aspect on feminizing men. There is none. Really.
None.
I'm a man, and I'm a man in construction for over 10 years, and I see the aftermath of feminine men. There is nothing good about it. Not for you women, nor other men. So I don't know where this... it might be good because there is X, Y, and Z being presented that weren't presented in the 1950s. I grew up on a 1950s man, and a lot of the qualities that I model myself after is based on that man. I've improved and evolved beyond his capabilities, but those were the foundations to what I am now. So I'm more interested in what is so great about the modern day era version of what a man is, that we can have those sayings that, oh, I might be better. Is it because we speak more? Is it because we actively display our fears out in public without fears of consequences? Is it because we use our mouthpiece a lot more? There's nothing great about the modern man in the way that we describe it as feminine. You want a man who you can absolutely trust with your safety regardless of whatever situation. And there's a judge who's went viral in America who said she married a man that he could hold her feet over a cliff and she wouldn't worry none. That's how much she trusted him. And that's the type of man that we're trying to establish when we have these conversations. So I don't see that in a lot of modern day men who aspire to be feminized.
But you know what? Let me piggyback off that. You know what I think it is with men these days? I think it is that a lot of men scared to play the game because there's no guaranteed win. So instead of them trying and rolling the dice, they just sit on the sideline and watch. That's just my personal opinion of these men of today. They really shaky. They scared. They scared to take a risk. They scared to put they balls on the line and go for what they know. What's up? What's up, fam?
Would be fair to say that men of yesteryear would not have the same risk of getting married, because if the woman wants to leave, I still get the kids, I still get the house, I still get everything, and you go about your life. It wouldn't that fair that the modern man has way more to lose than the man that 100 years ago? For example,
Fatty, we all got something to lose. It's just that is you gonna play? Like, you ain't going to casino just to get a free drink, is it?
Big dog, but yeah, I'll piggyback off that and I'll ask the whole panel a question. The men of the 1950s, could they? First, I'll start with the statement: the men of the 1950s an average man could woo an average woman, right, and get married and have a family. I would also say that the average man today cannot woo the average woman today.
Not the average man.
It takes skill. So the question is that because men have changed more, or is that because women have changed?
Society. I said men have changed more, because women have. To me, how I was raised, women have always what we seeing today is what I was seeing back in the 90s. Only thing that had changed for me is technology. I've been seeing this shit for 30 years. I've been dealing with women since I was 12 years old. Ain't nothing changed with the women.
Same.
The technology had changed, which made men more scared to take the risk of dealing with women that have never changed. They always had attitudes. They always been hypergamous. They always been on their shit.
But now they got a big field to choose from.
I have another question, right? I have another question, Big Dog, and to people that agree with him. Would be fair to say that women that were married in the 50s and 40s, they actually should fear a little bit marriage because they know their man could actually beat them up and not face no consequences, and have a family on the other side of the town and they have no consequences? Would be fair for us to say that women should look at the marriage a little bit scared because they look around and they see that man on the 50s actually has some devious behavior that actually was going to put them in jeopardy. Is that fair?
It's not fair.
Guys, 1 second, because I want to get I just want to. Is that fair or not? that woman, because they had a lot to lose if they chose the wrong man on the 50s, is that fair that, okay, the Lakers lost, I get home, pow. Oh, okay, I can cheat and have another family on the side of the city. Nobody's going to say nothing about it. This is our grandpas. This is our great grandpas. This is the man. Is it fair for a woman to actually look at this type of imbalance in power on the relationship on the 50s and be afraid of it? Is that fair? Like afraid, kind of. Is that fair?
No, but no,
So-
it's not fair because the
Not
type
fair?
of men that no, it's not fair, and I'll explain why. The type of men that we talk about, there was such a thing called integrity and honor, and we were the first to ostracize each other if we were to move outside of what we consider integrity. That's why the certain family dynamic, the nuclear family, wasn't what we presume to be now. Oh, a man could just go out and cheat and have a different family. That was very minute, and only a particular type of men would have access to that level of family.
You are wrong, Paulo.
This is pre-sexual revolution.
You are wrong, Paulo. Even on my grandparents' village, if a man eated the
Yeah,
woman,
bro.
they would ask, "What did you do for him to eat you?"
Yeah,
Right? The paradigm changed
Yeah.
from justifying why do you like what did you do for that man to eat you to, oh my God, he doesn't like my dress, that's abusing. Like the paradigm shifted from one side of the universe to the other. Like
That is
that's
right.
actually thing that happened. And if I think it's fair for a woman to actually be afraid of having relationship in countries still today that the man has a massive power and a massive imbalance, I think it's fair for the man in 2023 to look at the marriages as Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I
if
see
get-
what you're doing.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think he's just before he was the woman and now he's the man. I think the paradigm changed from one side to the other because with society, women now have protections. So now they have protections. They are more willing to take risks. They are more willing to say, I don't care if I fail, I get another one. I get my kids and I bounce. With men is not the same thing, unfortunately, like it was 70 years ago. If a woman want to leave a relationship, go away. This
she
is
would
my
be a-
kids.
she'd
Do
be a
whatever you
pariah.
want to do. I get another woman. Exactly. I don't.
She'd have a letter A strapped to her chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd been all bad. If she can't get a divorce, if she did get a divorce, literally they'd be like, "That's the divorce woman. Don't talk to her." Like, I definitely understand what Fatty says because I don't know about y'all, but go ahead and ask your grandmother if she ever got hit, just one time, at least once. She might say yes because that's how common it was.
If you
And
go
it
to
was a-
Africa, if you go to Africa
the rule
today
of
or
thumb,
to the mid,
you know what that is? The rule of
It-
thumb. Does anybody know
Black
what the rule
Zero,
of thumb
if you go to Africa today, if you go still to parts of Middle East, and if you go
Yep.
to
I
Asia,
lived in the Middle
especially,
East.
that shit's still
2008.
alive. Yeah, this is
2008, I
alive.
saw a woman get beat almost to death because
But this
I don't
what-
know
but
what
this
she
what-
did.
But this what
We
I'm gonna
couldn't
tell
help.
you though. But this what I'm gonna tell y'all though. My dad was a street dude. You know what I'm saying? He had little girls. He was doing his thing, and he told me before he passed away, he's like, "If I have to hit a woman, that means I don't need a woman."
That's
So
fair.
Yeah.
all that right there. If I
Yeah.
gotta put my hands on you in a way that ain't satisfying both me and you know what I'm saying? If I gotta black you up, I gotta put bruises on you and all that. I didn't need you in the beginning anyway. If you can't
Okay.
do what I tell you to do by me just telling you what to do, I don't need to argue with you. Go on about your business.
He was more modern than most. I'm not saying that, I'm just saying that he was more modern than most. And I hate to say this, but my grandfather, big cheater on the black side. My grandfather on the Samoa side, we heard a lot of bad things that he did when he was young, against my grandma, so like they've grown, they've lived through it, they've gone through it, and I'm not, doubting their relationship. I'm not saying nothing, but what I'm saying is that I do understand what Fatty's saying. That
Yeah, I
times
understand what
have
Fatty's saying
changed.
too.
Yeah, times have changed, and it's so funny to me that there's a reason why I was gonna bring up what Fatty said, but I was gonna bring up for a different reason. Most of these women on here said that they would want a 50s style man, but two of the women obviously said, "Hey, I would want both because there are some things that are problematic with the 50 style man." We understand. Yes, and me, Fatty, I'm pretty sure every man understands that the 50 style man is problematic. He has a lot of the good traits, but the whole thing about men not crying, the whole thing about that stuff. Look at, I've told my son this: there's a time and place for everything. You are a black. Well, I have two sons. One of them looks black. One of them looks Asian. So I have to teach them both two different things. And I tell them, hey, there's a time and place to show emotion. Do not do it out in front of public. I don't care how many kumbayas. I don't care how many people tell you it's okay to cry. No. You come home. You come to me. We go in the room. You cry. You get it out. You go back and you freaking work on whatever needs to be worked on. We do not show that type of damn it, I forgot. I just lost the word. That type of
emotions.
There you go. That type of emotions to other people that we're not sure about. You should be 1000% sure that you could show your woman that, hey, I'm feeling down and out right now. I need your help. That is a partnership. But still, a man should literally take every single brunt of that stuff and not have to worry about his woman. There's things I don't tell my wife until it's absolutely dire and I have to, but I still have it already taken care of. I don't allow my self-esteem or my sadness or anything like that affect my ability to not only train my children but to take care of my wife. But I am also modern enough to know that, hey, I need therapy. I got blown up in Iraq. I have a fucking scar on my brain. If I don't act the right way, I could get very, very aggressive. I could lose my mind on somebody. I'm not the as much as I would love to pretend like I'm the best person, I'm not. And I understand that. And as a modern man, I get it that the people in the 50s and 60s and before that didn't have the ideas that we have now. They didn't have the education that we have now. And now that we have the education, I do think that we need to mix that education on how to treat each other by I would never slap my wife. That's fucking disgusting. But that kind of stuff, that kind of toxic, it's not toxic masculinity. That's bullshit because there's toxic women too. But there is a toxic way of dealing with a relationship that men and women could do. And a lot of it is enthralled, is encompassed in abuse. And I'm not about to let my son grow up and to give the idea to women or to anybody else that he's soft, that he's not a man, that he can't control his emotions, because I don't care what anybody says, this will never change. A man that cannot control his emotions is probably the most dangerous thing.
He's a dangerous man
out there.
Absolutely.
He's dangerous. Dangerous. If a man acts like a woman in any capacity, you need to leave. You need to leave because that's the man that's going to hit you. That's the man that's going to kill you. That's the nice guy. And I'm not talking about painting your fingernails and doing tea parties with your daughter. Masculinity is showing love to your children. That's not, to me, that's not feminine. What's feminine is we all know. All right.
Be afraid of spiders.
Yes, that will turn you into pussy real quick.
I love you, Sarah. I had to do it, Sarah.
On that note, I'm gonna just read this super chat, and we've hit the 3-hour mark. We have to come to the conclusion. So let me just read this last super chat real quick from Skippy Perking 11. In my opinion, women have changed more because of the extra attention they get from social media from all type of men instead of the man in her circle. All right, no worries. Shout out to you, man. Okay, appreciate it. And man, hey, thank you, buddy. Romanticize men of over a year. We see cons about that.
Your mic is muffled, Will.
Yeah, your mic. We didn't hear you. Say it again, please.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Yeah.
From Team Fatty, thank you, Fatty. We romanticize men of older year. We see pros and cons about the said traditional man of the past, just like the modern man. Salute to all the untouchables that came to play. All right, shout out to you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Fatty. Yeah, we have come to the end of the stream. Thank you so much. And I gotta say, this was a wild one for tonight.
This was awesome, Phil. This was awesome.
Hell yeah, I love you all. This is dope.
By wild, I mean
even Gabby.
It's good. By wild, I mean good. It was even wilder on the live chat. But it's a good show tonight. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. Yep, we definitely had a good conversation, and we can agree to disagree. We had a good breakdown of different topics and different opinions, different perspectives. We had some public guests jump on for the first time. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. But shout out to the panel. Thank you so much for making the time. We had a great discussion tonight. And I knew this topic was going to be a hot one. So, and shout out to, I think it was Fatty or your friend Ali was the one who brought up this topic on the last podcast.
Ali.
Yeah. Shout out to him. We had a great, I knew it was going to be a great conversation for tonight. And a big shout out to T.O. T.O. on the live chat, man. You big baller tonight, man. Yeah, definitely spent a lot of your super chats and supported to donate to the channel. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Thank you. Appreciate it. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget.
Lagos, she was in the chat a lot too, throwing money at you. So just wanted to shout her out too.
Oh, shout out to her. And don't forget, if you love the content, we definitely have a show. We have the Mastermind show. We talk about men, self-improvement, empowerment, masculinity tomorrow on Thursday. We follow Fessa. For all the Islanders out there, we have an Islander podcast on Friday. And of course, on Saturday, we have a live panel of women coming onto the studio where we're going to talk about modern dating relationships on Saturday night. So don't forget to tune in for that. But nevertheless, appreciate everybody here on the panel. Thank you so much for your time. We had a great conversation. At the end of the day, whether we agree or disagree, no love is lost, right? No love is lost. We're all friends here.
No, I love you all. You guys are awesome.
You're good. So we can always continue to come back on for the future podcast. But let me bring it back to the panel full circle. What's your final thoughts and how can people find you? I'm sure there's a lot of people here on the platform that want to support you. I'll start with the ladies first and foremost. Let me start with you, Maria. Maria, thank you so much for making the time to be part of the podcast for the entire stream. Appreciate you. Final thoughts and takeaways from tonight's podcast, and how can people find you, Maria? Go ahead.
So like Sarah said, I think most of it is definitely not black and white. I feel like for the most part, there's too many aspects to just give a straight edge answer. So I think it really depends. And yeah, I'm just on Instagram at Retro Riri.
Okay. All right, no worries. And based on tonight's conversation, did you change your perspective of letting a good man, the man that you want, be able to have some type of control over your life?
Nothing's really changed. Like my beliefs are pretty much set on what I want. Again, it's not black and white.
Okay, no worries. All right, thank you so much, Maria. Appreciate your time, and I can't wait when you come down to San Francisco. We can definitely have the podcast in studio. I'll pass it to you, Gabby. Gabby, as always, appreciate you jumping on. What's your final thoughts and takeaways from tonight's podcast? And this is the time for you now. If you want to respond to the people in the live chat, this is your time. And how can people find you? Go ahead, Gabby.
I'm not gonna respond to anybody on the live chat. I honestly wasn't keeping up too much, but I still stand pretty hard on my beliefs and no love lost. You know, I appreciate everybody for showing up to Will's podcast, and I had a great time, and I hope you guys all did the same. But at the end of the day, we can all agree to disagree. That's not the lifestyle I live.
Okay, all right, Gabby, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And then do you want to drop the socials or not? You good? How people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Chef Honey SF. I'm a certified chef. I've been doing it for over 5 years. So reach out to me if you like my content. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Gabby. All right, I'll pass it to you, Sarah. Sarah, as always, I always like to listen from point A to point B when you try to give your answer.
A long, windy road.
But yeah, what's your final thought from tonight? Take away, and how can people find you?
Yeah, well, a lot of stuff was said tonight, and I feel like some of the things I said might have been misinterpreted. I just want to make it very clear. I'm not advocating for women to walk around half naked, and I'm not advocating for men to be feminine or anything like that. But you know, I usually say I'm playing devil's advocate, but since we have someone here named devil's advocate, I'm not trying to be him, but like I'm just saying. But I'm Everyday Starlet on YouTube. I have film breakdowns where I actually take individual film scenes and I break down the masculine and feminine energies in the different film scenes, so you can actually see masculine and feminine energies played out in actual like examples, so you guys can kind of get an idea of those energies. And a lot of people say that it's been helping them a lot. So if you want to check me out on YouTube, Everyday Starlet. I'm also Everyday Starlet on TikTok, and I am at Sarah Blodgett on Instagram.
All right, thank you so much, Sarah. Appreciate that. Pass to the fellas. Black Zero. Good to have you back, man. Good to have you back.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I'm sorry I get loud and rambunctious sometimes, but hey, that's just how I am. So thank you for having me. To all the ladies out there and gentlemen, thank you for sharing everything that you had. I learned a lot from you guys, even from you, Gabby. I learned a lot from the way you guys think. So I appreciate it.
Oh.
But you can follow me on TikTok, Black0_25. It's in the chat. Come say hi.
All right, no worries, Black Zero. Appreciate that. Pass it to you, Devil. Devil, final thoughts, and how can people find you?
Yeah, I think that
just about all the points that I wanted to make have been made. I just hope that instead of getting caught up in the argument and the nuance, I think the biggest takeaway is for people to kind of read between the lines in conversations, and think about the underlying desires and like what does a person's behavior say. There's what they say they want, and there's what their actions dictate that they want, and that goes for women looking at men and men looking at women. I am I'm restarting my YouTube channel, and I'm going to make bite-sized videos that are data-based that can be shared throughout the manosphere. Instead of competing against all these channels, since I'm a data analyst by day, I wanted to make bite-sized videos that can be built upon, and citing actual studies, so we don't just have a bunch of circular arguments. We can be like, okay, we were wrong about this, but this is established, so what does that tell us? So I'm excited to get started with that and kind of use my skill set instead of just having a bunch of the same podcasts. So, and Will, you always have free reign over any of the content that I make as well. So Devil's Advocate on YouTube, Devil's Advocate 304 on Instagram. But yeah, otherwise it's always great hopping on. Will, thanks for the invite.
No worries, Devil. As always, I appreciate your perspective. Thank you for joining. Pass it to you, Paulo. Paulo Fessa, final thoughts, and you can't find him. Go ahead.
Yeah, don't find me. Look, in terms of social media, I'm vastly in real life or on Fatty or Will's podcast. Final thoughts is we can have these conversations a lot of the time, but what is your outcome? Is it realistic, and are you moving in accordance to serve that outcome? That's basically it.
Yep.
Thank you for having me again, Will.
All right. Thank you so much, Paulo Fessa. Appreciate that. And Big Dog, final thoughts, and how can people find you, Big Dog?
I just hate that I didn't catch the stream from the beginning, but it was a good conversation for what I did catch. And if y'all just want to hear something from a retired hood dude, just hit me up on YouTube at Big Dog Bark, and then on Instagram at big_dog_barking. That's where I be at.
All right, appreciate that. All right, Big Dog, thank you for jumping on as a public guest, making the time. Appreciate that. And last but not least, Team Fatty, final thoughts, and how can people find you, man? And thanks for the super chat.
I appreciate. Sorry for being late. I little blackout. I had a very busy day. Very offended that you still didn't give me a wrench on the chat, Will. I'm very offended. Very offended that Paulo Feza didn't send me a picture so I can do an emoji about him. Very offended. Glad to see Devil, Black Zero, my man, Big Dog Barking, and the ladies. I actually appreciate you being here. I really do. Like, I know we can be a little bit rough sometimes, but it's not personal. And I actually appreciate you guys being here. Gabby, I see Sarah all the time. Sarah's everywhere. But Maria and Gabby, I appreciate you guys being here. I just want to say one thing, right? When it comes to relationships, don't date disingenuous ever. They're going to make your life a living hell. People that will play dumb every time you actually tell them to do something, and they say, "What is wrong? What's the problem with this?" Don't date them at all, because they will make your life a living hell. Because nothing will be logic based like Devil likes to do, and it's not going to be actually something concrete. It will always be some run of the mill. What about this? What about that? So, fellas, ladies, don't do it. If the person that is sleeping with you doesn't actually want to tackle your issues, and they're going to be disingenuous about everything that you actually take them to their table, leave them alone. They will make your life a living hell. Shout out to Will. This show was awesome, Will. The extra hour, it makes things better. The we going back at each other a little bit makes shit exciting. I love this show. So, hey, give me a wrench before you have 700 people watching your show. I'm telling you, you're going to need help moderating the chat. So, telling you, go ahead. You got it.
As always, man, Fatty, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Shout out to the panel real quick one more time.
Oh, I have a last thing. Will, your is so loud. You are going to scare my condo like neighbors, because every time you play it, I have to do reduce the volume. Don't get me evicted, bro. Don't get me evicted, please. Please reduce the level a little bit of the sound so Paula Feza doesn't have to buy new AirPods in the future. I appreciate you.
Okay, I'll make an adjustment next time. But yeah, we definitely had a great show. Great back and forth, whether we agree or disagree. And shout out to the ladies. I know as men we can be very direct and very hard on when we have our disagreements. But thank you for taking on the challenge. So we had a great conversation for everybody in the live chat. Hey, the live chat is a live chat. It was definitely interesting watching the live chat tonight. You guys,
they were going hard on us.
It was a rough one today.
Yeah, it was pretty hard on the live chat tonight. So, but it is what it is. But hey, no matter what, that's just being you guys. Don't forget to tune in for next time. We will definitely have another hot topic next week. Appreciate you guys. You guys have a great night. See you guys next time. Peace, y'all. Peace.
Later.